2023 wasn't a good year for the Carolina Panthers, but I'm trying to make 2024 a better one for myself. Get started on your resolutions with Factor so you're ready for the new year. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including keto options, calorie smart, vegan plus veggie, and more, plus over 55 weekly add-ons, you'll have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart your resolutions. Skip that overpriced takeout trap. Factor is cheaper and way more delicious than takeout. Get chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals delivered right to your door, and they're ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes, which means more time for you. Head to factormeals.com/C350 and use the promo code C350 to get 50% off. That's code C350 at factormeals.com/C350 to get 50% off.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
What is the deal, Panther fans? Week 1 is in the books, and the Panthers got a W, folks. 19-14 victory for the Carolina Panthers over the New York Jets to open the season. As Sam Darnold gets his revenge, him and Robbie Anderson themselves with a big-time hookup, a beautiful touchdown, pushing the ball downfield. The Panthers defense looking incredible in the first half, and really everybody did enough to get this win. Christian McCaffrey back on the field, sensational as always. And we're back at the post-game show, the C3 Panthers post-game show, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. My name's Tony Dunn. Call into the show at 252-228-5098. And I'm here with my homeboy, my co-pilot, Cody Lashney. What's up?
Tony Dunn. I'll be damned if that defense isn't looking beautiful, man. Dude, I'm so pumped. I think our biases may have been confirmed and that this defense is ready to go. And listen, I know we're all going to have a ton of opinions about our offense, but we need to talk about it. Because you already know I've been saying the answers are on this roster. But listen, man, before we go any further, you already know I got to welcome in the most lit Panther fans in all of YouTube. I'm talking Sideshow Rob, Tin Tizzy, AJ Lindsay, Supreme Leader, Kego Ford, CJA, Blake Bettis, Chad Morales, Dostoevsky, Tony Dunn. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
The number is 252-228-5098. Be sure to smash the thumbs up button and support the show by just sharing the show on Facebook, Periscope, Twitter, YouTube. Hit the thumb up, hit the subscribe, and hit the share and say, Panther fans, unite as we celebrate the first victory of 2021 season. CK in the house looking good in that jersey, just like Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey. I can't even say his name. I'm so starstruck.
CMC. Just say
Christian
CMC.
McCaffrey. CMC. Good Lord. Looked pretty damn dominant in his first appearance back from missing a lot of time last year, but played only in 3 games last year, but had almost 200 yards. Could have had more at times. I mean, he laid that, it was awesome. Great game back for him.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And it was fantastic to see him actually have an impact. And it was good to see that connection with Darnold come out early. The one thing we're going to talk about, and we talked, Cody's already hit on it. I think that it's very clear that the best coach on this team is Phil Snow, and it's not even close. It's not even like anywhere in the vicinity. Like, you guys want to talk about that second half? There's only so much that your defense can do when you have an inept offensive coordinator, which is what we have right now, who refuses to play, make play calls that aren't vanilla are predictable. Basically, he's doing everything he can to take the game out of the quarterback's hands and put it, in a more predictable way, which is predictable by the defense. That's what's happened. That's where we're at. Offensive line's an issue, but I'm ready to talk about it. This isn't a lot of positives, but too many negatives for us to think we're going to be competitive in this league.
Wow, really? I was saying this is I'm looking at that defensive line, guys, and I'm going, holy cow, this could be a dominant team. Dante Jackson, where we asked maybe him to be too much of a first corner, right? Or out there by himself, now really looks to be playing loose and free and could be playing his way into a contract with somebody if it isn't the Panthers. And I got to say, Shaq Thompson must have been listening to this podcast because my man came out today and bawled. And I tell you, as he looked like a rejuvenated Shaq Thompson in so many ways. Greg, I've been down on Shaq Thompson for a while now, and he comes out, gets a pick, gets some big tackles in this game. Look at sporting the number 7. 2 guys flipped their numbers right before the damn game.
Yeah. Well, look, Shaq Thompson had a really good game. You got to give him props for that. He did get the interception right after a penalty got called on him. I think it was the next play, actually. So, I mean, made up for that. But all in all, he had a really, really good game. What I expect of the guy we paid to play like, Right. Yeah. I'm kind of with CK on this, though. And I feel like I'm going to be more on his hill this afternoon because while I saw a lot of things I really liked, and I'm glad we're walking away with a win. Hey, guys, we're tied for the best record in the NFL right now. Can't say that very often, but I'm going to tout it as long as I can. We beat the Jets, and we beat the Jets 19-14 or 19-16, wherever it was. We didn't beat them by much. We should have beat the Jets. That's what we should do. We almost blew it against the Jets. Now, we had some really, really good things I saw. I was very impressed with Darnold. The defense at moments shined really well. But in the end, we barely beat the Jets. And that's what I want to make sure we keep a grasp on,
They weren't good at all.
They were not good. I understand that. But you can only play who you play.
Right.
You can only play the teams on your schedule. And I think this is this is kind of what I wanted to see from Carolina. Yeah, sure. What I've liked it. I was 35-10 with Cody all week. That's what I've been saying. That's what we said on the podcast this past week. But there were times I felt like we were about to get that. It really, Darnold started off ho-hum in the beginning a little bit, but then all of a sudden they started taking the top off. I don't know, what I felt like this is I'm going down the list of things that I'm seeing a lot of good things. Mm-hmm. Number 1, Sam Darnold, to me, played pretty damn confident. And I would say better than expected. If he plays like that all season long, we win the QB matchup trade or whatever, right? Look,
wait
I'm happy
until we fix the interior of this offense, man. I understand CK and Greg, you're upset with Joe Brady. A lot of people are upset with Joe Brady, and listen, I'm not here to tell you that he called a perfect game. What I'll tell you is this: our coaches failed us in another way. Is that they trotted out Elflin and Paradis at center and guard, and we've all been saying this entire offseason that they were going to be a liability, and shocker, they are. All the pressure always comes up the middle. They're missing assignments. They're terrible. The answers to this are already on the roster. It's Deontay Brown and Brady Christensen. If you're going to refuse to play the young guys like this old Ron Rivera bullshit that we used to do, dude, I cannot stand that, man. I feel like our play calling wasn't the greatest, but, dude, there were certain times when, there were stuff coming open downfield, and then just Sam gets engulfed, man. It's a problem that we're not charting out our best players on the offensive line.
Here's the thing, though. It's week 1. Okay. For an offense, it generally takes about 3 or 4 weeks for them to really get their footing, really step in. For any team, you rarely see a team blow it up on offense or be just in sync in the first week in offense. So we got to take that into consideration. And I get what you're saying about Christensen and them, but at the same time, I feel like they see them more than I do, and they're better at this than I am.
That part I get, and also we think that he's on the roster. We have other pieces that could fit, but we also saw Brady Christensen do well in the preseason against backups, right? We don't know how much better he is than anybody else on this squad. I mean, I'd like to see him have an opportunity, and it might change the way that this offensive line works together. But right now, you're right. I mean, the thing right now, you have nothing to lose. This offensive line is full of holes. The second half, the defense was able to adjust to what Joe Brady was. There's no like surprise here, and this is why I say this is on Joe Brady. When we went into the first half, we had an advantage. Guess what the Jets were able to do? They were able to adjust for our protections. They were able to, because we became predictable. Like, there was nothing that we were doing that was putting us on the out. Like, there was no play call that made us feel like, oh, okay. Just to put it into perspective, every first down we had in the second half, every one was a run by Christian McCaffrey. Every single one of them. That's an issue, and that's something that's predictable, and it's something that's going to, bite us in the hind end.
Is that because the play calling is bad, or because we can't pass protect? When you can't pass the football, of course you're going to run. And Christian McCaffrey was, by the way, incredible today, and I think once again proved why he is the best running back in the NFL. Like, that dude is a monster. I mean, dude, he was eating up yards left and right, and in the passing game, up through the middle, Christian McCaffrey is by far our best player on offense, but they really had no choice but to lean on him. If Sam has time, you all saw that beautiful touchdown pass deep downfield to Robbie Anderson. Like, Sam Darnold has the arm. He has the talent to do this. He can make the throws. He made some good throws today. He also missed a couple. But again, his first start. But overall, he did well when he had time to throw the football. But it was a mixture of terrible pass protection. And yeah, I'm also not like capping for Joe Brady either and saying that he was perfect. But I'm saying that we cannot pass protect. And it annoys me because I feel that the answers are already on this roster.
God, I didn't feel like I feel like I was watching a different game.
Honestly,
like
I think you were.
Man.
I felt like, well, no, I'm not going to lie. I felt like the pass protection wasn't that bad. I didn't see a lot of problems in the pass protection. I mean, the quarterback played pretty well. He didn't get pressured too many times. It didn't feel like to me.
I think Cam Irving played well. I think Taylor Moton played well.
Well, let's look it up. How many pressures did the defensive line have? Or did they have?
More than we had. They had 8 quarterback hits to our 7 quarterback hits.
Yeah, we had 5 sacks, though.
Oh, okay, but yeah, of those 7 quarterback hits, 6 of them were sacked. We had 6 sacks, didn't we? That's a little bit different. A quarterback hit after he throws the ball and makes a completed pass, and a sack are not really comparative stats, I don't think.
Keep in mind, the 2 different teams we're talking about. We're talking about a team that doesn't have a running back that we're afraid of. We have a team that doesn't have a wide receiver core that we're afraid of. We have a team that I couldn't even tell you who their tight end is. And they lost their most important left tackle on the offensive line. Like,
and their punter. They lost their punter.
What would have made y'all happy?
I mean, to not have the Jets beat us so dominantly in the second half, it wasn't even close. Like, the Jets were the better team to close out this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm unhappy.
Barely, man. They just converted a fourth. They just converted that 1 4th down.
They scored.
And then they did a hurry up at the end. Or else, they had the first Corey Davis touchdown, right? Is that they got back in the game and cut it in half. So, so that it wasn't out of reach like it felt like it was going to be. But I felt like we were really giving Zach Wilson a ton of problems. And then in that last, what was it, that 2-minute drill, right? Right at the end, they converted that 4th and 8. And then they marched that, and then they were able to get some big chunk plays and score that touchdown. But I really it's like Derek Brown almost killed Zach Wilson in his first
yeah, he did.
game ever.
So did what's Brian Burns in that sack he had?
Yeah.
That blindside sack.
What? So you guys wanted us to come out and just straight dominate the second half? That would.
I wanted our offense to do something more than it came out. We came out. We had 270 yards in the air in the beginning in the first half, right? Second half, we had less than 100, right? And when it wasn't very good at all.
ISO'd on the safety. This safety has.
Well, look, can I tell you the way I would describe it? Is we played well enough to win the game, but at no point in time were we dominating when we should have been.
Think about
the offense, with the players we have against them. Like at no point in time was this game secure for me. We never lost control. Like I felt like I feel like they won the second half, but we still kind of had control, having the lead just simply because we had the lead. But we never dominated. I never felt safe until we got the last first down and Christian McCaffrey laid down.
But also remember also that we left 2 touchdowns on the board in that first half.
And that's a problem.
There was that seam that Ian Thomas going up the seam, and it was just a little bit too high. And again, I expect issues like that to be ironed out the more football that we play.
Exactly.
Right. So I expect us to connect on that. If anything, I'm agreeing with you, Tony. I'm more impressed than I am frustrated with this team because we had to overcome some things. But number one, I see a nasty defense with a savage pass rush that's getting after people. And let me tell you what, 54 is no more, baby, and 7 is heaven. Those new numbers have, I think, sparked something in Jermaine Carter and Shaq Thompson. And listen, we were on here recently talking trash about Shaq, but we all owe that man an apology. Right now, that guy is looking like one of the better players on our defense. He had an interception, flying around to the football, smacking people in the mouth. I mean, this defense, yes, you're right, Greg, is that we were never, running away with it. We could have been, but we never were. But with this defense, I always felt like, damn, bro, we're going to be all right, man. Even when the ball goes to the Jets, it's not long before the Panthers are taking it back. Like, this is an impressive performance for our defense to build on.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Show it to me in a game against a better team. I was really impressed. But show it to me against a team that doesn't have the worst offensive line in the NFL.
How about
I'll be more impressed. Now, I'm not saying I'm not impressed. I didn't like what I saw, but I want to see it consistently. Teddy Bridgewater played well last year in his first game.
That's not true. I mean, that is true. That is 100% true.
So
again, I don't want this to get lost. It is a win, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our defense looked like they belonged in this league. They looked like they were as advertised. Mm-hmm. I know that people want to say that our defense got tired because our offense couldn't do anything in the second half. Our offense couldn't do anything against their same tired defense, supposedly, in the second half either. So it's not even like you can't even really blame the defense getting tired. It was, I think that, yes, our offense not being able to, give our defense a break was tough there towards the end. I'm just glad. I mean, here's the thing is you talked about it, Cody. Shaq Thompson came out and I felt like he had a chip on his shoulder and he showed that he is the leader on this defense that we hope him to be. People who want to say J.C. Horn didn't have flashes, they threw the ball to him once and he had amazing coverage on it. It's just a perfectly placed ball. Like he had no other balls thrown his way. Like just think about that. That's actually good for that defensive rookie of the year position outside of the fact that he's not going to be putting up stats.
Right. Well, can I say too, our boy Dante Jackson, he had an amazing tackle and then an amazing SWAT to stop what would have been a really, really nice catch. And then he got burned the next play. Like back to back to back.
Yeah, I'd like to know, was he supposed to sit? Tiki was talking about that for a minute, and we probably need to see what the coaches say. Is he supposed to sit down there and look for some sort of out route, like a flat or something, and then let him go by for the safety to come over? Or is that like you're saying, just a poor read? Dante's got greedy eyes. Right. So he's even if you saw that pass breakup that he had, at no point was he looking, not looking at the quarterback and the ball. He was playing it like a outfielder trying to catch a fly ball. And maybe that, and we've heard, I think Ron Rivera in the past and them talk about that to a certain degree, is that he's watching the quarterback. So, so he can get a little baited on thinking either the play's over or, pump fake can do a little bit more to him because he's really keeping his eyes in the backfield. 252-228-5098. Cody, we've got Kayla Pace coming on at around 5 o'clock. Coverage from Play Like a Jet podcast. She is going to come on. Big fan of JC Horn too. She's going to come on and just give us a little insight from what she saw from the Jets perspective in the first game. That's going to be around 5 o'clock. The number's 252-228-5098. Let's go ahead and jump into some calls though in the meantime and see where the fans want this conversation to go. Go ahead and smash the thumbs up button and be part of the show, and share, like, subscribe. There's 108 people watching right now. We continue to do this each and every week. We hope that you can be a part of the community. So we're here on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. and after the game. Can you pull up the cat calls video? Or I got to do that. Don't know. What am I talking about? No wonder I was sitting there. Everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy. And I am crazy, folks.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
Hey, Kevin from Charleston. I just want to say, like, our defense, amazing. Our offense needs some work. This should have been a blowout. I mean, I understand it's the Jets. Probably take it, they probably did like a vanilla offense. But I need to see more from Joe Brady. Our receivers dropped some passes, but I need to see more from Joe Brady. That was ridiculous. It should have been a blowout. Sam Darnold played great. He threw it where it needed to be. There were some drop passes, but so ridiculous. This should have been the easiest fucking blowout. Shaq Thompson,
Stunned. We're so sad.
today, bruh.
I'm not, Brian. I'm not really with it.
Yeah,
like everybody was like, "Oh, this is so bad." Like we gotta win. I'm not saying any of y'all, but
no, I mean, like I would say 50% of this podcast is a little less impressed than I expected. Right?
I don't think. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
The other thing is like, yeah, I mean, I feel like I saw a lot of cool things today that I wanted to see. Right. And you're right, is that now when you keep saying that the Jets are terrible and they don't have, that like Becton's out, we're supposed to, like they don't have anybody. And nobody thought that it was going to be, I mean, a few people thought that we were really just going to dominate, right, going in. I mean, everybody thought that this was going to be, I said 35-10, but like the spread was 4.
How well do you think the Jets played?
I think
that they played. I think their offensive line. I don't know if I want to give credit to our defensive line for their offensive line being so shitty.
No, yeah, but I mean, I guess number one, we talked about this with Sam Darnold. This is the reason why he wasn't successful in the Jets. They didn't do a lot to address the Jets' offensive line this offseason. They're in a rebuild. That's not one of the pieces that they've been able to really shore up. So, like the increase in what their offensive line was from when we talked about Sam Darnold not having any help is not there, right? So from an offensive line perspective, they were bad, right? Quarterback play got better towards the end, but let's also keep in mind he had 2 completions. He didn't have any completions on 3rd down. He didn't have any completions over 15 yards
because he was getting smoked, dude. This guy is welcome to the NFL. I mean, this guy was running for his life the whole game.
Right. My reason for asking is how well do you think that the Jets played is put the Saints in this game and we played the way we did. Do we win this game?
Well, they're currently up 10-0 on Green Bay right now. So,
and we're playing them next week, right?
Yeah, so we're going to find out real quick. I mean, listen, that's the benefit of having, a shit team in the Jets to open up the season. We got to have, we got to wet our beaks a little bit, get on the football field. Sam got to get some playing time under his belt. We got to see our starters for a full football game. But now we have our division rival coming home, and Drew Brees just retired. So now all those little mistakes that we made during this game, we have to be much better. And again, it's like I feel like our receivers did well. DJ Moore, he had some drops, but overall, DJ Moore, I would say,
he had one drop.
Today.
Like he had one drop. Maybe I missed one or something. But he also had like some insane catches, dude.
And
like just like
nice
that
yard.
one. And by the way, if you've been watching some of the stuff on Twitter around some of the catches in the league today, I would put that DJ Moore, that toe tap catch in like in that highlight reel. We're gonna see that, on SportsCenter or something.
Oh yeah.
I thought DJ Moore came out. Look, is that he came out and had a hell of a first game, and that's for someone who has been known to start slow, right? DJ generally doesn't, like is that you're like, man, is he gonna be great this year, right? And then all of a sudden, is by the end of the season, he's got 1,000 yards. So him coming out and being hot in game one is encouraging to me. So I don't know, is that I feel like the Panthers did what they had to do. Sure, do you want them to do more? Do you want more points? But if they wouldn't have scored this final touchdown, would you have been more happier? If it was 14 to what? 19 to what maybe 8?
It was 14.
Wouldn't you be like
the final score?
Honestly,
yeah.
No, I wouldn't. And here's the thing I want to say too is I'm not unhappy. It's more of I'm just being realistic because I've seen this movie before, you know. So I just want to get past the next few weeks, and then I'm very optimistic. I liked what I saw. It's just even with us holding them to 14 points, was it? That's a winnable game. I think like 70% of the time, if you hold a team to 17 points or less, you'll win the game.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a good stat to have, but it's the Jets. It's week one.
Right.
I saw some things I didn't like too, but overall, I'm really really satisfied with the win today, and it is a win. It's 1-0. Like I said, we're the best record in the NFL right now. I'm gonna say it all week long.
But we actually have an opportunity to get a little bit of Jets perspective here. Let's go ahead and welcome in Kayla Pace. Kayla, how are you?
Hey guys. I mean, you guys are doing better than me after that win.
You'd
But
like to think so.
Welcome
By the way,
to the Sneak Green
condolences
Panthers
on
podcast.
and condolences on Mekhi Becton. That's terrible. We never want to see that. We hope he isn't hurt long term.
Yeah, honestly, no matter what kind of play we saw out there today, it's the worst part of the whole game because you don't want to see that guy go down ever in any situation, and he's already injury prone, so it's just never looking good at this point.
All right, go ahead and give us your perspective after week one. We talked to Scott this past week and got some insight into. I asked him what do you hope to see in week one and what do you expect to see in 2021? And he talked about the rebuilding process and that he wanted to see that the decisions that were made, the big decisions in this past season, that they worked out. And he was talking about Saleh. He was talking about moving on from Darnold and getting Zach Wilson. He was talking about, there was a couple other things that he mentioned that he wanted to pan out. How did you feel, if you were going to say, what did you expect today? And did it fall below or basically meet expectations?
Yeah, so for me, I'm going to have to say that it fell below expectations. I tweeted right before the game, and this is what I've been talking about for weeks leading up to this game. I wanted to see the Jets coached into a situation where they could win the game because I didn't think that the Jets were outright the better team against the Panthers. They have some talent catching up to do, and I'm aware of that, and most Jets fans should be. But I think that what I wanted to see is Robert Saleh and his staff out there coaching the Jets into a scenario where they could feasibly win the game at the end, and they were fighting to win the game at the end. And I think that we just saw a scenario where they were just trying to play catch up and get more points on the board. And so to me, that part was disappointing. I was hoping to see the difference being in the coaching. Another thing, though, that I will say, I think Zach Wilson looked ready to be an NFL quarterback. I think that he was put in a bad situation, as how many times have we as Jets fans said that over the last few years? But I think that he was set up in a bad spot where the offensive line wasn't prepared, couldn't read the defense, couldn't read the rush, and that's unfortunate. But what he made of that situation and the looks he was getting and the throws he was making, he looked accurate, he looked confident, he looked like he knew what he was doing, and he was making the best possible decision given the circumstances. And that's really what you want to see when you have the rookie quarterback out there, right? Like, you can change all of these other pieces a little bit easier than finding a solid quarterback. So if Zach Wilson's going to go out there and prove to us that, hey, I showed up week 1. I was ready to go. I did the absolute best I could in the circumstance. This does not fall on me. I didn't make some game-altering decision that put us behind. I don't think that happened. I mean, besides that one interception where I thought he made a bad read, otherwise, I don't think much can be blamed on Zach Wilson. He went out there and played a solid game. He looked prepared. He looked ready. And it looks like he has like the raw ability to go out there and be an NFL quarterback. So that was kind of above and beyond what I was expecting from him, to be honest. I do think, though, I was also kind of sad about the Jets receivers. I thought that they would be able to get a little bit more separation. I thought that the drops were a huge problem. And it was really, really disappointing to watch. Maybe I didn't give the Panthers secondary enough credit because they are good. And I was overall super impressed with the Panthers defense. But all in all, I think that all you can take away from this is that it's a new head coaching staff. They struggled a little bit. They'll have to catch up. But Wilson looks ready to go. I think Jets fans should be happy with that and ready to move on to the next week.
Was our defensive line as dominant as I think it was, or was it your offensive line being really what it's been for a while now, which is poor?
So I think it was a combination of the two. I don't think the Jets defensive line or offensive line was as improved as we thought it was, perhaps. And obviously Mackay going out didn't help that, but him being in the game didn't really seem to make a huge difference either. So I would say, though, that it wasn't as much a matter of like skill when it comes to the block on the Jets offensive line. I think it was them being unable to read what the Panthers D-line was about to do. I think that had they shifted, had they made the correct adjustments, then we would have watched a little bit of a different game, but they weren't picking up on what the Panthers were doing. I think that those guys have a lot more actual skill when it comes to blocking than they showed today, and it's too bad because a lot of the times what I felt like I was looking at was the Panthers just had a guy that they just didn't pick up on, and it wasn't for a lack of, oh, he beat the block. It was for no one was even looking for him.
Yeah, so Kayla, we've been told by Scott that you're a big fan of J.C. Horn and that you have been for a long time. Well, I have no problem telling you that I've been a fan of Zach Wilson for a long time too. As soon as I saw that guy throw one pass at BYU, I'm like, oh yeah, this dude has a rifle connected to his shoulder. And I think you really get a good indicator of what kind of talent you have at the quarterback position when you see them make throws on the run. Like he is absolutely incredible off platform. He had a really good throw going back across his body, which is something they teach you, especially as a rookie, to not do. But he was able to do it because he has that kind of swag, that kind of arm talent. Do you foresee this being another long haul season where the Jets are potentially in it for a top 3 pick? I mean, how much better does it get for this Jets team going forward?
Well, first of all, on the J.C. Horn note, I'm a South Carolina grad, so he's a fellow Gamecock. Love him, and it was too bad that he got burned on that Corey Davis touchdown.
I was at the Gamecock game. I'm an ECU alum. I was at the game yesterday, and we blew it right at the end, and we needed that win. So I'm still sad,
you know what?
and
I'm
struggling
also,
from it.
I'm a big ECU fan as well on the low. Holton Ahlers, love him. Can't wait for him to play the American opponents. But anyway, so as for the Jets for this season, I think that as long as they're improving on the mistakes that they were making today, like, so let's say if next week the only thing we do is start out a little bit stronger and build off of those early game issues, then I think that that's a trend in the right direction. I predicted the Jets winning like 6 games this season, and I'm still thinking that's accurate. I don't think that they're going to lose the way they did last year. I think that this game was an indicator of, okay, let's go out there, see what we have, see what we can work with, And what I want to see is not making the same mistakes over and over again. So we saw some of the things that were shortcomings being the offensive line, the wide receivers getting separation, all of those things. That's fine, but I don't want to see that every single week over and over and over again. And I don't think that will be the case. I think that there still is a good coaching staff, whether or not I was impressed with the way they called the games today or not. But I think there's a good coaching staff in place. I think that they're going to work on that. They're going to take it and run with it. But I don't think Jets fans, there's Jets fans in my mentions just this morning saying like, Jets are making a playoff run. Oh yeah, there's a line between the optimistic and the delusional, and I think that the Jets fans dance on that line quite a bit. But you got to love the enthusiastic bunch. But I think that you got to come back down to earth and think about it as if we're improving on mistakes week by week. If Zach is going out there and throwing for 250 plus yards every week, then that's a very good thing. That would not be something to be upset about. Right. So regardless of what the record is, you want to see the guys that you've invested in playing out to be potential future stars. And I think that Zach has that. I think you can see it on the field right away. Sam Darnold today, he looked good, but he was checked down to McCaffrey the entire time. And if that's what the Panthers need him to do, then awesome. But I didn't see Sam Darnold and think potential future superstar. I looked at Zach Wilson and thought, ooh, good decision-making, knows where he's going, very accurate. And that's what I want to see throughout the season.
And by the way, I don't know if you know this yet, Kayla, but apparently Ian Rappaport is reporting that Mekhi Becton appeared to suffer an MCL sprain. He'll have an MRI to confirm the diagnosis, but this would appear to be good news considering the possibilities. So sharing some news your way. I don't know if you knew that yet.
Nope, that's news to me, and I prefer it. So
fantastic news for you guys. I have a quick question because I think, half of the guys here and a lot of people in chat are probably feeling the same way. Not super thrilled with the way the Panthers performed. We feel like there's a skill gap between what the Jets have and what we have, and this should have not been this close. And that's not to knock the Jets. The Jets are on the first year of their rebuild like we were last year. Yep. I just don't know that the talent on offense or defense is going to match what we have yet. It'll get there, I imagine. But did you feel like the Jets played a playoff contender in the Panthers?
I felt like watching the Panthers defense, I was seeing a defense that was going to perform very well this year. I've always kind of felt like the Panthers offense, especially the last few years, was on the back of Christian McCaffrey. And I think a lot of people probably have that outlook, but it's not that it doesn't work. I mean, it gets you down the field. So I think that if they can find a way to, and this all comes back, I guess, to Sam Darnold, and what I'm seeing is that he can't just be a check down to McCaffrey. And if you really want to have a big difference maker type offense, then that's going to have to change. And I thought Darnold looked pretty good passing at the end of the day.
I was happy. I was mad
he got
happy.
that nice bomb down to Robbie Anderson for a touchdown.
Yeah, it shattered my heart, stomped on my soul. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
but
and he had a couple of really good back shoulder fades to DJ Moore as well. 27 yards down the. I mean, honestly, compared to what Teddy Bridgewater was last year, Sam Darnold is a tier ahead. I agree with you. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's great. I think he has the potential to be great. I think you could see that in some of the things, and I think that's also you and I both looking at these teams from different perspectives. Where you saw Zach Wilson, he showed there towards the end, he showed a lot of flashes. But if you look at the very beginning, he didn't have a lot of help from his offensive line, but he was missing a lot of throws that could have very well been, game changing. Honestly, if Zach Wilson had played the way that he did in the second half, in that first half, and hit some of those throws that he was overthrowing or underthrowing people and whatnot, then I think you guys would have blown us out of the water, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's a similar problem. If Sam has more time to throw behind that offensive line, then maybe he's better. But that's the Sam narrative since he got into the league. So, but at the same time, I do think one of the things I noticed immediately was that Sam looked like a much cleaner passer, even with limited time to throw. And so clearly being on the Panthers has been good for him so far. Yeah. I mean, or it's just a flash in the pan, but I'd like to think that he's improving. I mean, I don't have ill will towards Sam Darnold. I hope he does well for you guys. But it's kind of the same types of issues. I think it's just young teams need more offensive line help. And I think the defensive line is strengths on both sides. And it's interesting how I think the Panthers are definitely ahead of the Jets in terms of preparedness. But I do think that, especially in like your division, I mean, you're going to beat the Falcons twice.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was so
Yes,
terrible.
we are. Yes, we
All right,
are.
great stuff, Kayla. Can you tell our fans how they can find your work?
Yeah, so working a lot with Play Like a Jet. My Twitter handle is at KP_on_TV. We'll have content coming from Play Like a Jet all season long, and I will personally have plenty of JC Horn commentary. So if any Panthers fans are interested, I'll be on it.
Get your seatbelt out.
Nice.
AC Horn will lock you up. All right, great stuff. We'll talk to you guys soon. Tell Scott I said hello.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right,
Kayla.
guys, that's Kayla Pace from Play Like a Jet. I thought, and I wanted to, we could talk all day. I did tell her we were going to keep her for 5 minutes or so. So I was going to, but I would have, when it comes to Zach Wilson, he's a gunslinger, dude. Like, is that he has no fear to push. Like, I mean, is some of those missed throws that he had weren't by much, and they were low percentage throws. You know what I mean? We're talking like down the field, on the sideline,
Yeah.
So it's one of those things as he hasn't been ruined yet mentally.
Mhm.
Playing for the Jets can do it. He hasn't started to see ghosts yet.
Right,
And
right.
I think that Sam, what I liked is I didn't think Sam looked panicky today.
No.
No, not at
And I
all.
thought he did push the ball downfield enough. In fact, he had more deep throws in this game than I saw from Teddy Bridgewater in like 10 games.
But can we talk about the fact it's not even just a matter of the deep throws? They were accurate. The Robbie Anderson could have been a little more in stride, but it's still like it was still way better.
It got there.
Way better than what Teddy Bridgewater had done, especially on a deep passer like that. I mean, that was a bomb. That was a beautiful throw. Andy, he was so close to getting Robbie Anderson on another beautiful throw down the seam, and it was just. I agree. I think in Kayla, when she said it, I completely understood what she was saying when she said that it looked like Zach Wilson could be a superstar. I didn't feel. I think she sees Sam Darnold the way that I looked at Zach Wilson today, which is there's potential, but I didn't see Zach Wilson being this the savior of the Jets, like yet at least.
Well, can we go?
Go ahead.
I just wanted to go back to that throw for a minute because it was like, that throw was like, oh, Sam or Zach could potentially be a superstar quarterback. Well, remember, Sam was a gunslinger too. And with the Jets, he was throwing balls downfield trying to make a play, and it wasn't happening. And part of Sam's turnaround here in Carolina is the coaches trying to get him to take the check down and don't always have to push the football. But I also wanted to point this out. This is a much better view of that pass. Look how much trash there is all around Sam Darnold when he has to make this throw. Like, he already has pressure right in his face. He has to step up and has his eyes downfield the entire time.
Left side.
That looks like a pretty clean pocket to me, Cody.
We've talked about the seams.
Other than the double team sliding over.
Dude, look, rewind. He has nobody within 3 yards of him.
Can you mute it?
Look. Watch. Nobody within 3 yards of him at any point in time. Look. That's a pretty good pocket, man.
This is a breakdown
Number
pocket already.
55 got beat, man. If it wasn't for Christian,
how close does he get?
But
Christian was there. But Christian,
thank God, Christian can block. But again, are we supposed to have
he's supposed to block.
McCaffrey in on pass? Yeah, but are we supposed to have McCaffrey in on pass protection?
Yes, sometimes. No, not he wasn't the entire time.
I mean, on this play, he was meant to be.
On this play, he was meant to be, and he did his job exactly.
Being, our offensive interior,
3 yards.
Look, this is good pocket movement.
3 yards.
I mean, I wouldn't say it a clean. That's not a clean pocket.
That is not a clean.
But
nobody came close to touching him.
I mean, you see right there, he's about 1.5 yards away from Sam.
Yeah,
he has to be able to navigate the junk, everything around him, and keep his eyes downfield.
That's awesome.
But
I mean, this is a good play
situation for a quarterback every play, man. Look, I'm sitting here watching.
I'm not saying it is. I'm saying this interior offensive line is going to continue to struggle this way, like they did today. And that Sam Darnold, even in spite of all the trash around him, was still able to make that kind of throw. So it's like, yeah, I do think Sam has what it takes to be a franchise quarterback, but it's going to be dependent upon us getting him adequate protection when he's dropping back to pass. We can't have Christian back there on every single pass play.
All right, so I think, how we got into this conversation was with Caleb Pace's comment of, she saw Zach Wilson as a potential superstar in the making, and she didn't necessarily see Sam Darnold in that light today. But we got to think, and not negative biases, right? But she is with the Jets, and they have had their shell shock. They have PTSD from what's going on in their organization, and Sam Darnold's part of that narrative. But Sam Darnold also has to overcome, like, his reputation has, like, he was meant to be a superstar, right? The draft people told us he was going to be this and all of this, and it didn't work out yet. So it's going to be hard to revamp that narrative quickly, right? I mean, it's going to take, right now, he's going to have to do this. It's probably going to be year one of him being a functional quarterback, and then year 2 and 3 of him being a guy leading a team to success that would then shift the narrative to Sam Darnold being the reason we're winning. Right now is no matter what he does, unless he goes out and throws 40 touchdowns this year, right? We just need him to not be part of the reason we're losing.
But that's exactly what Teddy Bridgewater was last year, and that wasn't enough.
But he was part of the reason we were losing, though.
No,
yes.
we
need him to do more.
Towards the end, he was. We need Teddy Bridgewater is a great backup quarterback, in my opinion, right? And that's what we've all said. The difference between what we need this year, we don't need somebody who's not going to lose the game for us. Teddy Bridgewater there at the end of the year was definitely losing some games, maybe the last 4 or 5 games. But for the first 11 games, it wasn't all on the back. I mean, you got to keep in mind, we had one of the worst defenses up until halfway through the season last year. We didn't have Christian McCaffrey for the majority of it. Right now, we need to see way more. Like what you're describing is what we actually got from Teddy Bridgewater last year until, we obviously didn't. We need more. We need a step up. We need Teddy Bridgewater.
Today was more. Today was more than Teddy
and
Bridgewater.
I agree.
I would tell you that is that he rushed a nice. They spread him out, had a rushing touchdown, and to be honest, there's a couple of opportunities where this could have been a 3-touchdown game for Darnold. Right? You have, and it's both. It's a little bit on both, but that Ian Thomas when the ball was hot, it was like a fastball, and it needs to be, you can't throw it slow over the middle, right? In the red zone, but it was so close to connecting, right? It wasn't way off the mark or a bad read. He wasn't throwing into dangerous, making poor decisions. I thought that our offense was more explosive in this game than it was at really any point of the season last year.
Here's the difference in Darnold and Bridgewater, where, like you said, CK, Bridgewater's a good backup quarterback. And if you're trying to throw the ball 5-3 yards, little dink and dunk, Bridgewater can do that, and he can do it well for the most part, but you usually can't win a game simply doing that. And I'm all for us doing that if it's working. It's when it's not working, you have to have a quarterback that can change the game and go downfield, where it looks like Darnold can, where Bridgewater couldn't. And that's the difference. And that's all we need is somebody who can get it downfield. Not every play of the game, just somebody who can do both, who can do the short yard passes and get it downfield 50% of the time completed, And like I said, in this game, he showed me that he could. So that for me, that's the difference in Darnold and Bridgewater, is Bridgewater had no ability to do that. With that ability, Bridgewater would have been fine. If he could have thrown the ball 15 yards down the field, I'd have been okay with him. But
yeah, I agree. Let's get back to the calls. The number's 252-228-5098. 252-228-5098. Tell us what you thought of the game.
Hey guys, this is Chuck from Elizabeth City, aka Carolina Sports Guy. I just have 3 things I want to focus in on the negative in this first half. Number 1, Pat Elflein. Guy sucks. All right, that hold was terrible, and I understand that it's the only play. But can we deactivate Deontay Brown and Michael Jordan, the new offensive guard? This guy sucks. Number 2, Juan Santoso. This guy sucks. I know he missed an extra point, but if we're not going to go for a 51-yard field goal for this guy when we didn't have any points, how much confidence has his coaching staff got on him? I got some questionable calls. And number 3, if I go back and look at the replay, and that sorry-ass Giovanni Ricci is the one who calls that fumble down at the goal line, and we end up losing the ball and not scoring. If it's him and we kept 5 tight ends, he's shit as a tight end. He shouldn't be a fullback, and it's a joke. And that's one person we should have cut and kept somebody else and bring in a better kicker. That's all I got to say.
Wow, Chuck bringing the Chuck is animated here. On top of that,
I have some things to say about that.
Yeah, me too.
Injury to insult, or insult to injury, should I say? Chris Manhertz had a 22-yard touchdown today for the Jaguars. All right, go ahead. You guys respond to the call.
All right. So first and foremost, I think it's so important that we talk about why I feel the way that I do about this coaching staff right now, and why I'm not super thrilled. It can change in a week when we face the New Orleans Saints and things adjust. But right now, do you guys know how we got our kicker? Like, do you know? Remember the terms of the trade?
Yeah, if he was on the roster come next week, then we'd have to send them.
If he plays in 2 games, we give away a 7th round pick. Okay. When we had the ball at the 30-yard line, you have an opportunity to see whether or not he's going to be on the roster next week. They didn't even test him. He missed an extra point. You're not going to put listen, at that point in time, I know you want to play. Our defense was playing lights out. It was great. All these fantastic things, right? You had the ball with a possible 50-yard field goal, right? 47-yard field goal, and you still decide to punt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is a poor coaching decision, especially in the midst of a possible trade away of a draft pick for a guy who could possibly not even, who's going to have to play next week, because we really don't know what we have outside of him kicking a couple extra points and missing one. It was a poor decision, and it was probably, I know people are going to be like, I get it, man. It was a chess instead of checkers, but it's not. It was pretty simple. We needed the score and we didn't, and that's on the coaching staff.
The Saints are blowing out the Packers.
Yeah, they are 17-0. I was just about to say that's crazy.
Yeah, they just got another touchdown. Again, though, it's going back to his call. Yeah, Pat Elflein sucks, and he's going to continue to suck. I mean, it's inevitable. They didn't even dress Deontay Brown to play today. It's asinine to me. And then to piggyback on what CK said, they have totally mishandled this kicker situation. They should have brought in competition for Joey Sly and had that competition ready by the time they were at Wofford College. They should have had somebody competing with them for the kicker job. Now we have a guy that, he missed an extra kick today, but the other ones, he was pretty good, but we're still having to wonder about what we have at the kicker position. So again, it's like overall, we have been very complimentary of Scott Fitterer and a lot of the decisions that he's made as a GM. But it looks like a lot of these decisions that he's made on the offensive line are going to bite us. I mean, we already know he shipped out Perriman, our linebacker Perriman. So it's like I think there's some real problems evaluating certain positions on the football team.
Okay. One question I have about the call. Is he blaming that fumble on the tight end that was in there as the fullback blocking? That's how I read it.
Are you
gonna say it was? Or you gonna say it was, Cody?
I got the play right here.
Yeah, I know. I've watched the play over and over. There's absolutely no way that's his fault.
So maybe a little bit too close, but he did hit the ball out of his hand.
No, look, he's running where he's supposed to go, not even looking at the ball. It's Sam Darnold's job to tuck that ball.
Sam swung right, to the right too much.
100% Sam Darnold's fault. That's not his fault at all.
I don't know.
Ran straight forward a step.
That looked like he was taking too narrow of an approach into the blocking assignment, and that's like I don't think his his route to getting that protection was as close to, like, I think that is going to be, because I mean that's going to be never an issue, right, for normal circumstances. And how many times has Sam Darnold run that play and never had an issue like that? And then we have a tight end in the backfield that's never run that play before, outside of now being a fullback. All of a sudden, that's 100% on the fullback.
And by the way, look, once he does hit the line, he's too far inside. He's too far inside.
I mean, that's a matter of inches. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of with
the
Greg.
game's a matter of
I
inches
don't.
there,
I think
right?
it's how everybody at that fault, right? Is that like when you go into the film room, you're going to talk about Sam Darnold needing to be careful about how wide he swings, right? On a play when there's a fullback to the side. I don't know how you actually coach that, but that's what I would think you would say. Make sure that you're holding on to the ball tight until you're not. And then also for that blocking guy, we have to be aware that I know you're trying to block and get to your assignment as quick as possible, right? But you have to be aware too that there's going to be moving pieces around you, and you can't screw them up. So you know what I mean? Like it's kind of it's 2 inches, and that's not a problem. You know, like if he's 2 inches faster or 2 seconds fast, you know, just a little bit faster, a little bit slower, a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right for both of those guys, and it's a handoff. Was that the 4th down play?
Yeah, that was the 4th down play. I mean, honestly, it really wasn't that big of a deal. Yeah, I mean, because we weren't gonna. If you look at how many people were already in the backfield, it wasn't gonna go anywhere. I mean, I know you could say Christian McCaffrey can make impossible things happen, but that was, you know, it was clear that our offensive line is not great at run protection.
Yeah, that is what I actually, if I have like Cody's issue is with the interior of the line, mine is with that we're not good for run blocking, right? Like if you didn't have Christian McCaffrey, we wouldn't have gotten close to 97 yards rushing today, right? I mean, is that his like jump cut and go is so elite. Like, you know, as he makes everybody look good, but those they weren't mauling people for him. He would get in that pack, and then all of a sudden he'd be 5 yards up the field, and you'd be like, man, I didn't even think he was going to get a yard.
Is he leading the league in rushing this week? I don't think there's been any rusher that's done really well this week.
Yeah, I mean, they held Derrick Henry back tremendously.
Yeah, Ezekiel Elliott didn't do well. I mean, I don't think anybody's run the ball well this week. I think he may be the leading rusher this week.
Dalvin Cook, no, he didn't have a great. I have him on my fantasy. Here, I can look. Dalvin Cook got 61 yards, but yeah, nothing too crazy there.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey had 98. Yeah, I'm not.
He had a ton of catches, man. That was his thing. While you look that up, I'm going to go ahead and go to the next call.
Hey, man. Look, I don't want to be too reactionary. First half of the first game.
Oh, no.
14, you got to pick it up, my guy. We fumbled the fucking handoff in the goal line. Overthrew Terrace Marshall in the next possession. I'm not feeling great right now, boys. He gonna have to show me something to change my heart. But on another note, on a little positive note, shout out to Shaq Thompson, man, having a hell of a fucking game right now. Pass breakups, interceptions. I don't know if he's feeling like his college self with the new number. I don't know if he's listening to the podcast and getting tired of Tony shitting on him every week. But you know, shout out to him. Hopefully he has a breakout season and plays up to his contract. But look, y'all, first half coming to a close. 14 has not looked great, but hopefully we can turn it around, man. Shit, god damn.
Didn't he have 200 yards and a touchdown?
Like so this is good,
this was
man.
first
I
half,
like
right?
this. These are the expectations.
Yeah, he was like 75%, 200 yards and a touchdown. That's pretty good.
In the first half, he only had like 30 yards rushing.
We're talking about Sam Darnold.
Oh, yeah. Sam Darnold. Oh, yeah. Sam Darnold looked pretty good. He didn't look great in the first quarter, but the second quarter came alive. Joe Mixon had a better game. Joe Mixon had 127 yards rushing.
Okay, but still.
Yeah. And Alvin Kamara is about to destroy it.
Touchdowns right now.
Yeah.
He has what?
2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns.
Kamara?
And 65 yards rushing already, and it's not even the first half yet.
Oh, Chubb just ran one in for a touchdown.
Yeah, and see, like that's what we have to worry about with the New Orleans Saints, because no matter how much turnaround they have, they return all of their offensive linemen. Like, we're gonna find out real quick whether this defense was just
That's what I'm talking about.
basically, beating up on a fifth grader, or if they're actually one of the better defenses in the NFL. Because let me tell you, this Saints offensive line is big and mean. They want to run the football. They don't want to give Jameis too many opportunities to throw interceptions. They'll let him drop some dimes every once in a while, but they want to be a physical run-first football team. So, I mean, there's a scenario where we could see our defense out on the field for long periods of time if we can't generate a pass rush. So, vice versa, we also have to keep their defense on the field. So all of these inconsistencies that we saw today, dude, we have to work that out quick. And that's why I'm so frustrated, because I don't know if these coaches right now have the wherewithal to play the better guys on the offensive line. And I don't care if people think I'm wrong, but Deontay Brown and Brady Christensen are better than the two losers that we have playing guard right now. I'm sorry, even if they're young, no one can convince me otherwise. They can't be worse. Can't.
Is Dennis Daly the loser? Is that what you're saying?
I'd have to look at the tape. I'm trying to figure out who is.
My main two are. Sure. I wasn't impressed with none of those guys on the. Whoever was playing right guard was not very good. I think that was Daly, right? Yeah,
Daly. Yeah, he came out for because he had some blood issues apparently. I don't know. And then Trent Scott did come in there. He didn't look bad.
Pat Elflein, Matt Paradis, and Dennis Daly are the three that I'm like, dude, this shit needs to get better fast. And I'm talking real fast, or we're going to be very predictable.
Well, I hate to tell you, man, you ain't going to get. I mean, Paradis is going to be there.
Yeah,
you ain't playing nobody else.
To deal with it.
Why? Dude, why is there? It's
who
just
else?
We pay?
Who is there to play?
F1 is center? No, well, you mean well? Okay, see, again, that I'm worried about this too. I mean, Sam Tecklenburg. Again, he looked good in preseason, but who knows what that actually means?
All right.
Yeah, we're thin at that position, but I feel like Paradis could play better if he had some better guards next to him. And the fact that Deontay Brown didn't play, this game could have been way better for us than it actually was.
But Cody, couldn't everybody play better if you had better people around you? Isn't that kind of the point of being a superior player? Is because you can do it without the people around you?
You have to prove that you're a superior player. At what point did those starters ever do that?
But I mean, it sounds like with Paradis, you're trying to kind of put him up there as like, well, you're trying to take the blame from him, saying, well, he would be better if he had this. Well, I mean,
he would. I mean, he would be better if people around him better. But the problem is this: is he can't be better than he is, right? And he is who we got at center. I hate to say that. It's like you better. So so the only way that is going to improve is to improve the guys beside him, and we'll have to see how long, because everybody, as F-line has become the punching bag of Panther Nation, right? Is that we don't have we're not right now is everybody's still hoping Cam Irvin can be serviceable, so we don't want to come at him too hard. F-line is the guy that everybody has been saying sucks from the beginning, even before he played, right? Is that first on top of that is that, I mean, this is almost just kind of verification of those fears, and that's why it's so I guess irritating to people who've been saying the offensive line is going to suck, is that they're getting their fears are being confirmed in their eyes.
Hey, real quick before we go to this next call, you want to see some bullshit?
Yeah.
Joey Sly, 3 for 3 today.
And 4 out of 4. No, he made 7 total kicks.
Yep. Would have been my fantasy kicker had he been on the Panthers. Yep.
Dude, I think we're cursed at the kicker position.
We are.
I mean, we let go of Harrison Butker. Harrison Butker balls out. Gano goes to New York, and now they're paying him again. We let go of Joey Sly, and now he all of a sudden remembers how to kick a field goal. It's like, dude,
maybe it's the air in Carolina, man. Maybe it's just a bad place to kick in. I don't know.
That's pretty embarrassing, man. That's going to end up being a problem all year.
Have y'all noticed this? I don't know if y'all are watching any CBS coverage games, but CBS is doing this weird damn thing with their replays where they the background, the crowd, and everything is out of focus, and they like hyper focus on the players.
Yeah, depth of field.
Yeah, and it looks like a Madden replay.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It makes it look animated. It's freaking me out.
All right, I'm going to be watching it. I got CBS up now. All right, let's go to the next goal.
Uh-oh.
My podcast brothers, how y'all doing? This is G Cavassier. Hey, man, that was a good-ass fucking game. You know, that was a good fucking game. Our defense looked legit, man. I mean, Zach Wilson, hey, he got lucky, you know, on that one pass, and, you know, Horn got beat. He swiped it with one hand. Just remember, young man, use two or whatever. But besides that, and that blown coverage that old dude caught the touchdown. Besides that, our defense was fucking legit, man. Sam Darnold, I think, got sacked one time. Zach Wilson got sacked 6 times. Come on, man. I'm happy as fuck that we damn won. I'm happy as shit. And did y'all notice that Ian Thomas got a reception? And then he almost got a damn touchdown in the first half, in the first quarter or whatever? I'm saying, this looks like, hey, Brady's opened up the damn playbook. But, hey, we 1-0 going into week 2. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. Sam Darnold played a damn good game. No damn turnovers from him. Yeah. Except that damn fucking fumble. He ain't throwing no interceptions, you know. But, hey, like I was saying, we 1-0. I'm not fucking complaining. And any fans that call in complaining, just look at the damn game. Just look at the game and see how we damn near dominated on fucking defense, man. Dominated. Keep pounding.
Man, I wish I thought I got I was hoping I was getting the red zone. And it says I should be. Do you have to pay extra for that on Hulu, guys? To get the red zone?
Because I know you do on Fubo TV, which is what I'm using.
Which that's interesting. Greg's an investor, or he likes to talk about that kind of stuff. Fubo TV is an interesting stock, right? They got a lot of growth opportunity to them. All right.
By the way, if you need the red zone, just holler at your boy. I got you.
No, but you know, I discovered today, I was sitting here watching the game on my phone because on Yahoo Sports, I get to watch games within my area for free. So I was watching on my phone. And then I realized that I pay for every streaming service there is except Apple TV. So there should be some way for me to watch live sports. And I had CBS Sports. And because I pay for Paramount and CBS All Access, I can watch live games on. So it's pretty cool. There's always a way to do it if you pay for enough things.
There's always a way. And
if you pay for enough,
he's going to send me the link.
Yeah, I check out the Four Horsemen chat. But Kego Fort wants to talk about them just not even throwing toward JC Horn. And it's one of those scenarios where it's like, you know, I've been saying defensive rookie of the year, but that isn't going to happen if teams already know not to throw towards his ass, you know?
Right.
I think JC Horn, he looked good today. Yeah, Corey Davis had that touchdown. Zach threw it to a perfect place. You know, I think JC could have been a little bit faster on the break, but overall, it was a solid performance from JC. His first performance in the NFL, I think, is getting even better. So yeah, man, I'm definitely impressed with JC. Another guy that we haven't mentioned yet, who is the monster in the middle that we hoped he would be, is Derek Brown. Dude, especially early in this football game, Derek Brown was beating dudes up in the middle of that offensive line, man.
He looked more than just a run stuffer, though, today. Like, he looked like a giant disruptive force out there. And I tell you, is that having that speed, Hassan Reddick was running around like crazy, too.
Yeah.
So having that edge speed with his power up the middle, man, it's going to be that's the guy. I think that's the surprise guy on our defense. Not surprise, but the guy in this defensive line that we're going to be talking about a lot this year.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
All right, let's go to the next call.
What's up, fellas? Kyle from DA. Game just ended, and we are fucking 1-0. Obviously, it's closer than what we wanted, and it should have been, but 1-0 is 1-0. Darnold looked good. There's a couple missed passes out there, drop balls, but all around, I have hope for this team. Second half of offense was just pretty much dead. Like, Joe Brady was calling the most vanilla shit. Like, second and short, why are we not doing a play action? Just try.
Nope. Just run up the middle. Right? But want to know. Like I said, the defense, defense crazy. Our defensive line is unblockable. I mean, Derek Brown tossing around people. Brian Burns and Hassan Reddick off the edge. Daquan Jones is in the backfield. And if we could have production from Shaq and Dante like they did today, Dante was out there headhunting. Shaq was playing coverage. Man, our defense looked good the whole game. I don't care. There's a couple chunk plays we gave up. But our defense looked great. Christian McCaffrey, welcome back. Almost 200 yards of offense. DJ with that toe drag swag. Oh,
Yeah,
that shit was crazy.
That was awesome. What a great
But
catch.
Loved it.
Jack Wilson has a fucking cannon of an arm. I mean, it just explodes. Like, if they ever get an offensive line in front of him, man, they might have something right there. Overall, though, good game, 1-0, and offense seems to get going a little bit better. But fuck yeah, I'll catch you on the pod.
Yeah, I mean, aren't defenses supposed to be ahead of offenses at this point in the season? Right? Doesn't that they say that it takes time for offense to gel more than defense?
Oh,
I feel like that's what they say in the past. And so I'd be interested to get the what about YGM?
Right there. Yeah, I was trying to find it. Someone had put when Derek Brown just destroyed Zach Wilson. It was him and Yeturgos Matos on a double team, and they just bulldozed him. I'm trying to find it on Twitter. Still can't. But, dude, then Marquise Haynes had a really good sack today. A lot of people got in on the sack and the quarterback action.
Every person, nobody had like more than one, but it was like 7 sacks from 7 different people. It was ridiculous.
I think it was Brian Burns, Hassan Reddick, Derek
Shaq.
Brown, Marquise Haynes, and Shaq. Yeah.
Wasn't there another one? Didn't
I think YGM got one too.
Hartsfield,
Maybe.
didn't he come
Maybe
in, or somebody who's 31? Didn't safety come in and get a sack, or did they?
Yeah, there
just
was
hurt him?
6 sacks. Chat, who was it? Yeah, we got the Haynes.
I got I pulled the stats up in a second. All right, let's go. While we figure that out, let's go to the next call.
Hey, what's up, C3? It's Ren DMC Lovato.
What's up, Tyler?
Finished the game. I'm happy we won. I'm not trying to be a bummer. I'm very happy we won, of course, but I just don't think. I don't think our offense is good enough for us to be a playoff team. Our offense is super inconsistent. I was very pleased with how Sam Darnold played. I was very pleased with the offense. Like, there's no players that I was mad at this game. That's how I feel. Like, I'm not pissed off at any player on offense this game, but it just seems like we're so inconsistent on offense. We can't, I don't know. It's just very hard for us to get down the field.
Burst.
And some missed plays here and there. But with the defense, I'm super happy with it.
That was it.
Towards the end of the game there, sure we let up some plays, but there were like third down plays, and our defense played hard all game. Very happy. I'm extremely happy with how Shaq Thompson played. He played out of his mind this game.
Yeah.
Thank God, because hopefully all the money we paid him is worth it now. Maybe this season he changes it around. I don't know, but I'm very happy with Shaq, and the defense as a whole.
I tell you, Shaq played great today, and he had an interception, a tackle for a loss, a pass breakup downfield that he was running with a receiver. Shaq, so very impressed by Shaq. Hassan Reddick with 1.5 sacks today. Could have had 2.5 sacks. I mean, Lord, there was one play where Zach Wilson pulled a Houdini move and got out of there. And Brian Burns was even in on the action on the second iteration of trying to get after him, right? So they were getting after the quarterback. And I tell you this, if the Carolina Panthers defense does that all season, we're going to have a lot of guys that want to get paid, right? If Hassan Reddick and Brian Burns get 12 sacks, somebody's got to get some money.
Yeah, man, this is going to be a big year for all those guys. And hey, look, man, Dante Jackson too. I mean, it looks like Dante Jackson's trying to do the Josh Norman thing, where in the final year of his deal, he wants to ball out and, make that big money contract. And we haven't really talked about him much. We do need to mention his name. That guy was flying around the field. He made some big tackles in some big situations, man. That
What?
speed.
Dante?
Dante Jackson. And he was had some pass breakups too, man.
I think that's the exciting part about, well, we didn't get to talk about it on the last show because they had not announced it, but Dante Jackson's one of the team captains, right? And he's only 25 years old. And a lot of people had started to give up on him and had run with the narrative from that all or nothing moment a couple of years ago, where they had this weird Captain Munnerlyn and them sat him down and dressed him down about needing to be more mature or whatever, or more into it. And he had become what Norman was to Ron Rivera early in his career. Remember, Josh Norman missed the coverage in a Buffalo game that led to a game-losing touchdown. Played a little bit too cocky, confidently, off. Is that it just didn't seem like he was as strict in his coverage or what he was supposed to be doing in defense. And Ron Rivera benched him, and it took Josh Norman a long time to get out of that doghouse. And it seemed like Dante Jackson was in it. But this, I think it was interesting, is that this coaching staff has really liked Dante Jackson since they came in. Is that they invested a lot in him last year, thinking that they could work with him, and then the injuries, kind of derailed that. But they continued to stick with him. I think they really, it tells you this team that they want fast players, dude.
Yeah,
that's what they want.
We have them too. And by the way, Jeff mentions that AJ Bouye will add to this nasty defense, and it's looking like he's going to have to also, because I'm hearing that Miles Hartfield hurt his wrist today, and they're kind of worried that it could be, like a real bad wrist injury. So can't wait to get AJ Bouye back. I don't think we're going to have him for New Orleans, but that's certainly a name that we're going to be needing at that nickel position. Overall, we won. The Panthers needed to win today. And, I feel like I've been consistent in my predictions. Like I said, that this defense was going to bail us out. That if this offense sputtered or had some hard times getting into a rhythm, that this defense was going to make us right for that. Now, it doesn't leave any margin for error on our defense, because it means that they have to, they had to play like that in order to make sure that this game was won.
I don't think so. I actually think I disagree. And what I disagree with that is, number one, is I think the defense actually, they didn't bail us out. They put us in a position to dominate today, right? They came out of the gate playing fantastic, much like my ECU defense did yesterday. Down the road, some chunk plays against my Pirates led to a loss. But the offense, I feel like it could have done more. But I think that the team, we played field position ball. I hate to say it. It's like, if you want to criticize the coaching staff, it's just for kind of playing like Ron Rivera would have played it. And that's why you're set. I think we could have put up more offensive numbers if we needed to, right? And I think it was just unnecessary that the coaching staff said this. And I think that not going for those field goals, I need to go back and really look at the context of that, where we're at and some different things. But I do think they believed our defense was playing dominant. And there was just really, I think that they thought they had the game.
Right.
Basically after the third quarter.
So
I think they truly felt like that.
You think that we purposefully left touchdowns off the board?
No, I think
it felt like our defense. That's crazy. I could not disagree more. I think that we couldn't do what we wanted to do. We wanted to be able to run ball control offense, but then we would switch to passing on second down, and it was like there was no time for Sam to be able to throw. So it's like I don't think so, man. I think they wanted to put up more points, but they frankly just couldn't get it to happen, and I think that's worrisome, man. Like I'm telling you that I've been saying something's gonna happen to change this offensive line around. I don't know what it'll be, and I hope it's not too dramatic. But it could be very dramatic if we go into next week and the Saints just start whooping our ass up and down the field in the trenches. Like, God, I want nothing more than to beat the Saints, dude. I'm tired of losing to our fucking division rivals. I want to go in and slap the Saints at home, make a real statement against this football team, take the ball away from Jameis. We need to be aggressive, but we got to have a chip on our shoulder.
Yeah.
And I don't know if our offensive line plays with the chip on their shoulder. And that's what sucks to me.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you look at the play calling, it was there were some conservative calls, but the conservative calls were early on in the game as well. Like outside of those 3 deep passes, the fourth there with Robbie Anderson that was out of reach, but I don't feel like Joe Brady seemed to dial up a lot of Christian McCaffrey, and which is good. Obviously, you want to get him the ball, but it did not feel like, even when we were still trying to get touchdowns, that we were doing what we needed to do to make it happen.
All right, let's go to the next call.
Hey, it's Run DMC Lovato. I think the offensive line, surprisingly, they didn't play bad. Like, I was expecting, 4 or 5 sacks from the Jets. It's so weird because in the preseason, our offensive line looks so shitty, and on paper, they are so shitty. But, in pass protection this game, they were okay. They were okay, I'd say. There's a few plays I've seen Sam under pressure, but for the most part, they're pretty good on pass protection. And then, surprisingly, I thought the weakest part of our offensive line was our run blocking. And surprisingly, they did pretty well today on run blocking. The thing I'm most happy about this game is seeing Sam Darnold throw a damn cannon to Robbie Anderson. You don't know how long it's been since we've seen a pass that was completed that had over 40 yards in the air. You know what I mean? Like, it's been so long. Teddy Bridgewater is such a boring quarterback. I'm so happy. Like, even if Sam Darnold, average all year, I don't give a fuck. I'm just happy to see some deep fucking passes. Yes.
Yeah.
1-0, baby. I'll take it. I hope our offense gets more consistent. And my question to you guys is, I know it's an early projection, but what do you guys think about our chances of making the playoffs, seeing how this offense cooperated today? I'm not sure. I see us personally going 9-8, maybe. I hope more, but 8-9, maybe. Maybe we sneak in 8-9. I don't know. But I feel like our offense was very inconsistent. But our defense was lights out, dude. J.C. Horn had a great game. That one touchdown pass Corey Davis caught, he was right there in coverage, and all game, you never seen J.C. Horn besides that play because he was locking motherfuckers down. So, yeah.
Like it. I think, it kind of, I agree with Panther Blue here, tired of a play not to lose mentality instead of a play to win mentality. And I think that as we go back and watch the game tape from this game, we're starting to ask about Joe Brady. And my assessment is I think he's fine at this point, right? Why did you guys intimated earlier in the show that some people were unhappy with Joe Brady? Why do you think that was? Was it because of that second half, or was it because of that?
It was even before that. It was before that. If you watch, you got to keep in mind the first quarter was littered with opportunities that were just squandered because of decisions. And when it's 3rd and 10, he decided to just do a check down again. Like, not just Sam's fault. Like, these are design plays, screens, and things like that. Like, it's the reason I said this earlier and right at the beginning of the show is because this is the offense that Joe Brady wants. Joe Brady wants the offense that takes the quarterback, whether he's good or bad, out of the equation. And luckily, Sam Darnold can overcome some of that. But you could tell just based on the play calling, it was very vanilla. There was nothing that made me look at this offense and say, "Oh, these guys are going to, be able to beat top tier defenses." Not yet, right? Not with the play calling. The talent's there. The play calling wasn't. I just don't feel like I think we're too predictable. Like you could pretty much guarantee out of every single play, you're like, "Oh, I know what this is going to be. I know what this is going to be," and the defense knew as well, and they were able to hone in on that in the second half.
All right, let's go to the next call.
The Kyle from VA again. Just real quick, it's just some other shit I saw is the fact that Deontay Brown is not out there when our guards, I'm not saying look terrible, but I feel like Deontay Brown is a clear-cut choice there. I don't know why he's not playing. And yeah, Brian Burns is just an animal coming off the edge. Like there were literally, I could probably name off the top of my head like 8 to 10 plays that there was no holding call when they were clearly holding Brian Burns. It was like every single play. Him and Hassan Reddick coming off the edge is a fucking problem. Them boys are too quick for them tackles to get around on. And then the interior defensive line is just destroying. I liked everything I saw from the defense, other than, like I said, those little chunk plays we gave up. J.C. Horn had one pass get by him, but other than that, J.C. Horn had a great game. They didn't really throw to him, from what I've seen, really. Hope Hartsfield's okay. Chin looks like he's still Jeremy Chin. Like I said before, Shaq. I'm glad Shaq changed his number because he played like a fucking a good, serviceable linebacker today. Like he almost had 2 interceptions. Like when have we seen that from Shaq? And he's in the backfield making plays. Dante's coming up, just head hunting people, just knocking people out. Yeah, our defense, man, looks tough. Phil Snow has got this defense humming. They are fast, physical, mean, and smart. And honestly, I can't wait to see what this defense can do all season. Hopefully everybody stays healthy on both sides of the ball, obviously. But 6 sacks week 1, not too fucking bad. And I thought Derek Brown killed Zach Wilson on that last one. I thought Zach Wilson was dead. But
yeah,
anyways,
I did
guys,
too.
keep pounding.
I thought he broke his chest. Right. Oh, and they landed on him. I could just feel like I was going to look at him and be like imprinted in the. If that was grass, he would have actually been imprinted in the grass. But since it was turf, that's why he wasn't. I saw somebody earlier say that Phil Snow's trash in the chat. I don't know how we could even say, all of a sudden this defense went from being a big time problem 2 years ago to it significantly improved throughout the season last year to right now. If we can weather some injuries, if we could avoid the bug, knock on wood, and get these star players to play like that. And if Shaq plays like this season, it does show you this is Cody, and Cody's mentioned this a lot in the podcast over the years, is how important the defensive tackle play is to linebacker play.
Yeah.
Right. And how it can make them either look like bums or brilliant, right. And so is that if they don't have to be, they shouldn't be the guys stopping the run. Right. So if they're not the primary run stoppers, right. If you're like really holding up front, linebackers can fly. Right. They can play instinctual football. They don't have to just worry about run gaps all the time, but they can get after players and keep their eyes on the ball and do some different things. So I was excited to see Shaq. And I hope that that number 7 is a rejuvenation or something, the fountain of youth for this dude. All right, let's go back into the calls.
54 no more. 7 is heaven.
I love to hear that thing.
Touchdown. He dropped it. No?
Say that one more time.
Teddy Bridgewater just threw a deep pass, and the guy dropped it.
Yeah, and by the way, not only that, the Saints D line is absolutely destroying the Packers.
Well, they did not get old like I expected them to.
Man.
All right, let's get this call. Come on, play.
Hey, this is Panthers Rule. I love to hear that thing. Touchdown, Panthers. Now, I love that deep ball by Darnold because, you know, it ain't like we did not see that last year at all. And actually ain't seen that deep ball in a couple years. But the defense played great, and we do got issues, particularly with the offensive line, and some play calling issues. But I'm not going to go too hard on it today because the defense and Christian McCaffrey busted their ass to get this win, and they deserve to celebrate it for one day. And Sam played pretty good. He played really good. He played a lot better than I thought he would, and he should hold his head up high. I'll catch you on the side.
All right, thanks for the call. 252-228-5098.
What it do, C3 Nation? It's your boy Mike.
AKA
Supreme Leader.
Mike?
Back in full effect.
Supreme Leader.
You know I was going to be back for the season opener. And let me say that I am fucking stoked. I'll win.
Let's go.
I'll win, baby. That defense, oh my God. Looking right. Fuck yeah. That offense needs a little bit of work. But they got it done. My boy Darnold, McCaff, Robin. Oh my God. Woo. Tony, it's time. You got to break out the fucking Shaq Thompson jersey because that boy was lit today. So don't be ashamed that you bought that jersey, boy. Shit. Shit, boys. Woo!
I love it.
Do it. Bring on the main. Bring them on. I don't give a fuck. 1-0. Wow, wow, wow.
I love it. I love it. Great call. Thanks, Mike. And I was thinking, my friend asked me on the radio on Friday, what, did Teddy throw a touchdown?
No, the Saints just intercepted Aaron Rodgers.
Here, Teddy's throwing right now. Look at this. Man, he never threw the ball that far with us. Okay. What was I going to say? Oh, my friend asked me about my optimism level for the Carolina Panthers on a scale of 1 to 10 going into this season. And I said, I'm going to put it at a 10. And that sounds crazy. But right now, number one, we haven't played any games. We're undefeated. And like I have some reasons to be optimistic. Now, 10 does not mean Super Bowl run or playoff necessary. But I think we're moving in a significantly good direction, right? I said each week my that number will probably come down a little bit, right? So I said when I come in here next Friday, it'll probably be a 9, and then follow the Friday after that, it'll be an 8, and then a 7, and a 6, as reality potentially sets in. But what is your optimism level after this game? And I would say that reasonably, I mean, I know the 10 was a crazy number, right? Is that like, it's probably like a 7, 6.5, 7 or something like this. But I am more optimistic after today than less optimistic.
Listen, I feel like this team has the potential to explode in a good way. And I really mean that. I mean, I think that what this game showed to me is that if you give Sam some time and let him go through his progressions, this dude can make all the throws. He can do all the things that you're going to want your franchise quarterback to do. He just needs the opportunity to do so. I think if that happens on top of this defense continuing to improve upon their performance today, they can be a savage ball hawking defense, like one of the better ones in the NFL. But I'm not going to make a prediction on this football team yet. One, if you've been following this podcast for a while, you know I have a tried and true belief system that you don't know who the real teams in the NFL are until after week 6. Since there's an extra game on the schedule, I'll bump that up one more. I'd say till around week 7. That's when they're going to really start to separate the wheat from the chaff and really see who the better football teams out there are. So I can't predict this team yet. It's far too early. The only thing that I can say is that we're in a good spot. We're 1-0 going against the Saints, and yeah, they're spanking the Packers' ass right now. That's a much better opponent than what we faced today. But overall, we're 1-0. The Saints are going to probably end up being 1-0 too. They're coming to our home. There's a lot of flaws on film that Matt Rule, Joe Brady, and Phil Snow are going to have to go over with a fine-tooth comb and make sure these guys know what they're doing and that they're prepared for the test that they have coming to town. They need to already be looking at the Saints and what they're doing and trying to prepare a game plan for that. Because imagine if we were able to get a W over the New Orleans Saints this early. Man, that would be an incredible shot in the arm of our entire football team, our fan base, everything. So we got to do our due diligence, button up, go to work, and start playing fast, physical football and limit these dumb mistakes that we're making on offense.
Oh, yeah, there it is. The chat's all talking about the Jerry Jeudy injury downfield, left on a cart. Really looks like a significant ankle injury, so don't expect Jerry Jeudy to be back anytime soon, right? It's going to take some time to recover from. All right, let's go to the next call. Actually, no, CK, optimism level up or down after this week from where you were at going in, you know? I mean, I feel like
down.
it. Okay.
A little down. I was really anticipating this offense to start humming. I know we had question marks on the offensive line, but I was really hoping in the year 2, Joe Brady was going to be able to, be able to play, call plays that were a little more, I guess capitalizing on the strengths that Sam Darnold has, and I just didn't feel like I saw enough of it today. But it is the first game of the year, and the other part to it, and this is where I want to be optimistic is why would they unload all of their playbook on the Jets? You know what I mean? Maybe there's the game plan going forward. Like they did just what they needed to do to win, but not to be, showing the world what they're capable of doing just yet. I don't know.
I think that's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, that also is true too. I don't want to, again, I don't want to seem over complimentary of Brady today. I mean, I don't think that it was the best called game, especially if you know that your interior is struggling. But again, I do think that there is some truth to that too. Knowing that we have the division rival coming to town, you don't necessarily want to pull out all the stops and reveal your cards too quick. So, there's a bit of gamesmanship to it, and I also don't think we've given enough credit to the Panthers' decision to wait that long before changing Jermaine Carter's number and Shaq Thompson's
that was an interesting.
And they made a great point on the broadcast. If you're the Jets preparing all week for 54 and 52, or 56, whatever Jermaine Carter was, it's like that's what you're looking for, and that's what you're expecting going into the game. Now all of a sudden they're 7-4. It's just like, what? This is kind of crazy.
Can they just change their jersey numbers every week?
No, it's only one. You can't do it once the season starts.
Okay. Shout out to Panther Rule in the chat. I saw him post this earlier. They asked Matt Rule about it, and he said, yeah, there was no rule against us being able to do that, and we knew that we could do it, so we did it for a reason, So I love the gamesmanship.
That's awesome. Like bringing in that quarterback, that practice squad quarterback. I bet you he gets cut this week. We signed a guy from that was that was a 4th round pick by the Jets a couple of weeks ago. just for the scouting.
Right.
Like, just tell us how your defense works. Tell us how your offense works. And thank you very much. Here's a paycheck. We'll see you next week. We'll see you later. All right. Next call.
This is G, baby.
What
Watch
up,
the
G,
game,
baby?
man. I don't even really know how to evaluate it. We barely beat the motherfucking Jets. I want all you guys to ask yourselves, if we don't have Christian McCaffrey, do we even win this goddamn game, man?
I think so.
First half was great, but goddamn, what happened in the second half? 19 points, dude. We should have put up at least 40 on these fools, man.
Should have.
Not impressed. Not impressed. And goddamn, I mean, the Jets damn near beat us. They almost fucking had a comeback win. Like I said, if we don't have Christian McCaffrey, we don't win this fucking game, boys. Which is very, very, very fucking scary. So, I don't know, man. I'm glad we won. Like it's a good team win, but I'm just not impressed. Over and out. Oh, and keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
Thanks, G, baby. I mean, look, I think it's fair. I mean, like, is that you do want this offense to be explosive, right? But I mean, I don't know if we can clean things up. You got to just win first, right? So we got the W, and we hope that the offense gets tighter as we go forward, and that the defense can maintain this intensity throughout the entire game, and get off the field on fourth down, right? And that was really, if like my I don't think that the defense. I don't think Phil Snow went conservative on defense at the end. I think that the no huddle offense and Zach's ability to push the ball downfield, like you said, on those off-platform throws, it really helped them at the end of the game to move the ball down. But I think the defense was pretty effective through 95% of the game, right? So a couple of plays could go different, right, on both sides of the ball. And I think the real question is we're going to have to continue to look at the special teams game, right? Is what is going on with not only the field goal kicker, but also what was the reasoning or the rationale, should I say, behind like you have this the Panthers are on the Jets 33-yard line and decided to punt 4th and 6. I need to see what part of the game that was in. Go ahead and respond. Any response to that, guys?
I'll respond real quick. I've already said a critical thing about this, but I'll make it full circle, and maybe I'll ask a question instead. Do you think that their decision to punt was more predicated on their confidence of their defense or lack of confidence on the kicker?
Because that would have put us up 2 scores, right?
Yeah. I mean, well, that we did it early on when we had no score whatsoever. It was 0 and nobody had scored by this point. And we had got there. We did it twice this game, just so you know, not just once. We did this twice when we were in field goal range.
I think there's 4 minutes and 36 seconds left on the clock, right? Is that I almost think that you are saying this is that if we pin these suckers down so deep and then get them off the field, we can keep good field position on the next drive and run the clock completely out. So I think that the idea was, I think it was more of a sign of faith in our defense than a lack of faith in our kicking game. But you are talking about a 50-plus yarder for a guy who missed a extra point and barely banged that long kick in the preseason. It's not like it went straight through the uprights. So I'd say a little, but more faith in our defense is my answer.
If we're choosing to punt from the 33-yard line, we don't trust our kicker. Like, yeah, you might love our defense, but if you're on the 33-yard line, I mean, what is that if not field goal territory? Like, that's when you kick field goals. And again, to me, this is a fumble on our coaching staff not having sorted out this kicking thing much sooner. I'm talking much sooner. Joey Slash had competition way before we brought in Santoso, and now we're left just holding our balls in our hands, man. Like, we have nothing. We have no one to blame but ourselves. in this scenario. And I think that's dumb to not trust Santoso. Like, yeah, the kicker that you just signed missed an extra point. Okay, so now you're going to squander his confidence even more by telling him, hey, man, we don't trust you on the 33-yard line. Like, that's just that's not good for your kicker. It doesn't speak highly on our coach's decision making. So again, like we're so early in the season that we're sifting the good to the bad, but the real bad decisions are glaringly bad, specifically the offensive line and a lot of these special teams things and our kicker position. To me, it's unacceptable.
I bet you Matt Rule comes out and says that the reason we decided to punt the ball there is that the 12-man on the field penalty right before makes it from a 47 to a 52-yard.
I mean, 52 is like I get it if it's 60, 65, maybe okay, let's exercise an abundance of caution. But I mean, he is a fucking field goal kicker. That is his job in the NFL, is to kick footballs. And if they don't have confidence in him to make a 55-yarder, much less a 52-yarder or a 47-yarder or any of those, then the issue isn't even just on their kicker. It's like right now, this was a test game already because Santoso has a very Rodgers got intercepted again. Fucking A. Rodgers is not looking good today. Anyway, but we need to figure out whether he's going to be on the roster next week, because if he's not on the roster, we save that 7th round pick. If he is let me rephrase, if he plays in the game next week, then he is going to be on we're going to get rid of a draft pick to get him. And that's an issue. That's where I think our coaching staff failed. I mean, even out, like, take the strategy out of it, start thinking about the future. You know what I mean?
I think you're right. You guys are right, because not only if you did have faith in your defense that much, right, is giving them the ball on the 33-yard line, you should have a lot of confidence that that's not going to be a problem.
Right.
For letting the Jets back in. Yeah, interesting. And I bet you there's going to be a lot of questions this week about the Santoso decision making, like you said, going forward. All right, let's go.
Dude, hey, I got to say real quick, Aaron Rodgers is just basically saying, chuck it and fuck it. Like, that guy doesn't care. Oh, he just threw it right into double coverage, right to the Saints.
He's trying to get the Packers to trade him.
And by the way, so again, it's so early in the season right now, and we're not expert on the Packers. And I know they're missing a bunch of offensive linemen too. Just like we shouldn't overreact to too much to the Panthers. Like, yeah, there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad, there's stuff that we got to work on. That's normal after week 1. But I think whatever happens in the Saints-Packers game, we need to have that mindset too. We don't know if the Packers are just a piss-poor team this year, right. and we thought they'd be better because they have Aaron Rodgers and they've been in the NFC Championship.
I mean, they brought back pretty much everybody, yeah.
I mean, yeah, so again, we really don't know. We have to treat every game as its own thing. But, yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know. That's it.
You got to keep in mind Aaron Rodgers.
He overthrew that pass like crazy, dude.
Yeah, and you got to keep in mind this team and Aaron Rodgers have not been seen eye to eye all off season. So I would venture to guess the chemistry between his receivers, the chemistry between his coaching staff and himself with the play calling. I mean, Aaron Rodgers can make up for a lot, but there could also be a lot of question marks around that relationship still.
Frustrated Aaron Rodgers on the sideline. Let's see. Is this?
It's G, baby.
All right, we already heard
Jameis.
Next go.
3 touchdowns.
Hey guys, Chuck from Elizabeth City, aka Carolina Sports Guy. Game's over. Second half was not as good as the first. I know J.C. Horn got burned on a play. It happens. Zach Wilson got to give him credit. Our defensive line, man, the pressure we put on them, man, between Reddick and Matos, and especially Brian Burns, they looked the part. McCaffrey, he did his thing. I'm not surprised with the guys involved. Robbie Anderson, with touchdown. We get DJ Moore involved a whole lot in this game. I thought Darnold looked pretty good. Had a couple overthrows for the most part. He stepped up. That S-line guy sucks. The kicker I'm worried about. But I'm still pissed in the first half about having that damn Giovanni Ricci as a fullback. That is a fucking joke. And it's time to get his ass off this roster. Rule's going to wake his ass up. I'm telling you. And, you know, we really played another game where we could have blew them out early and we could stick around for Vegas, 5.5-point favorites, and we win by 5. So, anyway, we got to get ready for the second week, but we're definitely not ready for Tampa Bay yet. But, guys, I'm here to say we're 1-0. We got another week to live and breathe. Let's get it going.
Yeah, I don't think J.C. Horn got burnt on that play. I think he was, man, I mean, it was like low. First, it was a good throw because he kept it low, right? Is that it made it harder to bat down, I feel like. But he was close to getting it. I mean, here is that I think that when I think what Chuck means too, though, is that he wasn't all over that dude in the whole route at that point either. You know, he had to he almost made an athletic play, but the guy was open. You know, even if it was momentarily, and that's all you got to get is a moment, right? And he pulled the trigger and got it done. All right, last call of the show.
Yo, what's good, C3? It's Justin Young, JDO 54. To start off with, happy that we got the dub. Touch on the negatives. Joe Brady need to work on his play calling. In that second quarter, when they were actually airing the ball out a little bit more, letting Darnold get a feel for the game, shit was actually clicking. Second half, as CK alluded to, became extremely predictable. You handed the ball off the Christian. Bro, like, I don't know what that was. They need to work on that. They need to get better about that. Darnold passes, he was 2 red zone trips. Darnold he was a little bit off on 2 passes. Obviously that's something that needs to fix. But to the positive, this defense is gonna be hell. This defense is gonna be hell. There ain't one dude on that D line that you can honestly say, okay, we stop him and we stop. No, you try that and you just opening yourself up for a world of hurt. Last thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna let you guys get back to your show. Tell Brown, somebody need to get in contact with Brown and tell him he can't be hitting quarterbacks that hard. That hit that last that he got on Wilson, I jumped out of my seat because of how that was nasty. I loved it. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Appreciate what you guys do. Keep pounding.
Fantastic call. Thanks for being part of the show. One of the things I love about Derek Brown is I don't know, he seems like a nice dude off the field and stuff like this, but this man, when he plays football, becomes a mean person. Right? Not like is that you see him like he is playing all the way through the whistle every time. And I don't think he felt one bit for putting all of his body weight on Zach Wilson. I know this is if you were a Jets fan, you were holding your breath to see, please say he didn't get a shoulder injury. Please say that. That's what you were. I mean, Zach Wilson got lit up. That Brian Burns, that free rush today, crushed.
Yeah. Hey, that shot with Brown, it was funny because when you're watching it, he's blocked. And then out of nowhere, it's like the guy that's blocking him just disappears. He pancakes him and just runs right over him. And I couldn't believe it. Like, didn't see it coming at all. Yeah, it was awesome.
I thought he was going to look like a piece of paper when he got up, like one of those 2-dimensional cartoon characters.
Yeah, he had trouble getting up. Like he looked like
he only has a profile pic now.
Hey, did you guys see on Twitter the mixed reality Panther?
Yeah.
That the Carolina Panthers debuted at the stadium today?
How are we trolling? Like, why are we? Our social media has become 100% trolls.
Would you like to see it?
Yes, I don't even know anything about it.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
My phone has been dead all day, and I don't even want to charge it.
This is going to be poor frame rate, but
this happened at the stadium, and people saw this like on the big screen.
actually pretty cool.
Why are the eyes green?
Because we're facing the Jets, I guess. I don't know.
It's pretty cool though.
You should have
I like
the
that.
point. Yeah, I mean, what does it remind me of? It reminds me of some movie I've seen recently.
Jungle Book.
All right. All right. So let's do this. Let's give out the. Oh, maybe I can find the music. Hold on. Is that we gotta give a game ball away or our dab on them pick of the week? And let me see if I got this somewhere. Anyway, we'll just dab on them. Dab on them. Pick of the week is I got to give it to Shaq Thompson. Dab on them, Shaq. You proved me. It's only 1 week. You got a lot. You got some love that you got to win back from me, right? There's been some love lost between us two. But today was a step in the right direction of repairing our relationship, Shaq Thompson. I hope that you can play to that level each week and be the player that we expected and really kind of need you to be at this moment in the wake of a Luke Kuechly-less team that we may not have anticipated as quickly, right? So do your thing, Shaq. Way to go. Way to prove me. Way to make me eat my crow today. Dab on them.
I like it. I like it. I am going to jump in here and dab on Derek Brown. Derek Brown to me is like, look, after that season opener, we all saw Vita Vea looking like a destroyer. And then on the Friday free-for-all, I went on and said, man, we're hoping that Derek Brown can look half as good as what Vita Vea has been looking like. And today he took the first step to doing that, man. We're going to be talking about these linebackers a lot and how impressive they were today for the most part. And it goes back to what I keep telling y'all. Tony already alluded to it. That interior pressure on the D line, that makes linebackers' jobs so easy. And I even think that we have a good little tandem going on with Derek Brown and Davion Nixon, who got a sack today too, who's also a rookie on a rookie deal. The Panthers have a lot of really bright young defenders on defense, but I think Derek Brown, hey man, he deserves that dab on him pick.
Good call. CK, you want to go? You want me to
go? You go ahead. You're bottom left. We'll go left to right.
All right, that works. Mine's real quick. Then I'm just gonna give Sam Darnold dab on him because he had a lot to prove in this game, man. Playing against his former team with a new team, all kinds of stuff. He had a whole lot to prove. He played really well. Of course, it could have been better, but right now, Sam Darnold, you're looking like a 25 touchdown, 4,000 yard quarterback for me. That's good enough. That's what I need to win games, and it looks like you can do it. So I'm behind you right now, man. Welcome to the Panthers. And dab
I like it. I like it.
All right. All right.
Great. Okay.
Mine is going to be on the best coach on the roster, and that is going to be Phil Snow, showing all these people that decide to say that he's never been more than a college coach, a defensive coordinator in the college ranks. He's showing that, listen, you can confuse an NFL offense by putting multiple looks out there. He was able to do it. He's got 6 different guys who were able to get sacks today. 6 different guys. Like, it's not just one person being dominant. This entire defensive line was showing up. And on top of that, you look at the fact that even through the air, obviously the second half wasn't great. Bill Snow was still able to game plan there towards the end and stop this New York Jets team from being able to do anything. And listen, that was a great play outside of a couple of pieces, man. That he's got this defense playing like they're elite. So dab on him, Phil Snow. Dab on him.
Is it going to go down as 6 sacks? Like, is that the way they're going to calculate it? Because I know it's like half sacks. All right. So on pace, we are on pace for 6 times 17. It's 102 sacks pace for this year.
What is the
16 game schedule? It's 96.
I'll take that.
Have you looked to see what Chandler Jones is on pace for?
Dude, you literally stole it from me.
Did he have like 5 today?
He had
He
5
had
sacks today.
5 in one
Holy
game. He had
cow.
5. And by the way, dude, Kyler Murray, I might even try and find it real quick. Through maybe the most beautiful touchdown pass I've ever seen in my entire fucking life today, dude. It was an
Winston's threw a pick.
absolute beautiful ball all the way downfield. Yeah, they beat the hell out of the Titans today. That's a good team. Hey, can we all just stop and take a second and smile that football is back in our
Hell
lives?
yes.
It's back, baby.
Hell
it's back.
yes.
It's
Y'all,
back,
I went
man.
to 4 o'clock
Week
this
1
morning.
is not disappointing either, right? I mean, you're coming out with a great game because usually the first game of the season and the Thursday night game can be Thursday night games tend to be stinkers, it seems like, or snooze fest, to where you don't even really. Sometimes we don't even talk about them the next day on the radio, and you just like, well, let's look to the season. So it started out with a great game. You got some cool stuff going down today. I feel like some surprises. Houston, what the heck is Jacksonville that bad? What happened to your boy Trevor Lawrence? You got some picks.
You know what happened? The same thing that happened to Zach Wilson. He met a better, hungrier football team. He met a better, hungrier football team.
How you going to say the Texans are better? That's crazy. Who could be?
Did you watch that?
The score. They were better. They were better.
Yeah, they are definitely better. Jameis Winston just got laid the fuck out, bro.
He threw an interception on that pass too.
Dude, he got piled, like he got clothesline, bro.
Yeah, good God. Poor Jameis. Like, I'm starting to feel sorry for this guy.
Oh, they gave him the ball back. What?
Yeah, they gave it back to him. They said it wasn't an interception. It did touch the ground, it looked like.
But how did they get first and goal then?
Because they were already now they may. I don't know. You're right. I don't know how they got first and goal. They may have given them a penalty for the hit.
The ball.
Did they say that he was roughing the passer?
No, I think that was where they were at on the field.
I know, but it was just
but that would have been a loss down.
Yeah.
They just gave him first and goal.
No, I don't know. We might have missed something.
Yeah. Hey,
they gave a personal foul. They gave a personal foul.
Yeah, it had to be. Yeah, no wonder we were saying that looked a little too tough. You know, to be honest, I'm surprised.
That was just it just sucks. You know what I mean? It just sucks that your quarterback got killed. But
Edward Moore says they said interference. I guess he must have watching the game. It said it was interference.
Oh yeah, because the other guy
I could see that. I could see that.
I also was surprised that they didn't call a flag on Derek Brown and Gross Matos.
I am too,
bro.
They both, dude. Dude, imagine that. Not even just 320-pound Derek Brown, but also 265. Your Gross Matos jumps right on his back too, man. Oh, that's got to be a crunch.
If that was Rodgers, they would have called a personal foul. If it was Cam Newton, they would have somehow called a foul on Cam Newton.
Right.
So
what about this? Speaking of Cam Newton, is Ryan Fitzpatrick went down with a hip injury today.
Yep.
You got to wonder we said bringing in Cam Newton to a team would be distracting as a backup and he even said it on his YouTube channel, right? Is that it's like he's just such a big person, like is physically, personality wise, right? He takes up a lot of air in the room. And we know that to a certain degree is that there's an issue with that, and not with Cam, but in football, right?
Right.
I mean, think about what the Panthers did when they got rid of Steve Smith a little prematurely. It's all about these dynamics of you're cultivating leaders in the locker room just as much as they are becoming leaders. But, I don't know if the Washington football team might be a interesting destination for them. They were able to keep within. Look, I mean, they held Justin Herbert and them to 20 points today.
Right.
That defense is fantastic. And that's a Ron Rivera-like team, right? That's what he wants. And you know who can do that? Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, by the way, I think people were calling that even before Fitzpatrick got hurt today.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, I think the Giants could be a spot too.
Yeah, but by the way, thanks to Panther Blue, good looking out. He tagged me on Twitter. This is the play with Derek Brown and your Turcos mottos, just putting the crunch on Zach Wilson. Yeah, they both came down all the way on top of him.
It looks like Grossmont when he comes up and celebrates and throws his hand down. I mean, I know it's but just from the angle,
it looked like it
looks
throwing a
like
punch.
he just slapped him on the helmet. Look, because from that side angle.
Yeah. Jameis Winston just threw another touchdown, y'all.
Savage, man. See, if our defense can do that to Jameis Winston,
They came out of nowhere. Look at that.
I don't give a damn what the Saints are doing right now, man. We can't go into this scared. We got to play big boy football and slap these dudes in the mouth, man.
Oh, I'm telling you, I'm watching this game.
They're beating the shit out of
This isn't even James. This is a beautiful game plan by Sean Payton. Like, that was a rub route that was able to a natural pick play. Dude was wide open. That had honestly, Jameis almost overthrew the guy. He had to, like, Jameis Winston isn't the reason they're winning. He's doing what he's what I think Sean Payton wants his quarterbacks to do, which is throw the ball where it needs to be, and that's about it.
Sean Payton is a brilliant coach.
I hate him. I hate him with every facet of my being. But yeah, you're not wrong, dude.
He can make
anyone who
Jameis
denies
Winston
it
better.
Dude,
he can make Jameis Winston better.
He's like Coach K, man. I hate the guy, but I respect him.
He made Teddy Bridgewater better. He
Yeah.
made Taysom Hill better. They won. Like he's been doing this. If people
He made Drew Brees better.
I've said
100%.
I've said for a long time now. I don't care how much you hate the Saints. If you deny that Sean Payton is one of the best offensive minds in football, you're fucking kidding yourself. Like,
it would be like denying that Drew Brees got hair plugs.
Yeah, do another touchdown, man. The Saints are fucking
Did you see somebody mentioned this in last week's show. Is the Drew Brees hair?
Oh, I know, dude.
Have you guys seen
it?
it?
Yeah, dude. Homer got some real hair plugs, bro.
Dude, his hair is thick right now.
Hey, can you blame that, man? Dude, if I had money and I started going bald, fuck it, bro. I'm all over that shit, dude.
No, you can't blame him at all. The thing is when you're famous and you're on TV, everybody knows.
And by the way, not that bald is bad. Like, CK has a beautiful bald head. Me, I'm shaped like that movie, The Fucking Coneheads. Dude, that's me. If I go bald, I look like I have one of those Easter Island heads. It would not be good for your boy, bro.
I think that you do this after football. It's like hockey players waiting for them to get their teeth fixed when they're done playing.
Right.
Like, no sense. Even when you wear a helmet all day and it's like that's all ripping that mess out. So good for you, Drew Brees. Dude. I hope you didn't pay $14 million like you did for that fake jewelry, though. Any other things around the league that stick out to you before we close it down? Mac Jones
did
now.
You guys want to do an ice up pick for a player? Like, say who would maybe someone that we're disappointed in. I mean, y'all might already.
We're not calling it the towel of shame.
The towel of shame.
Yeah, towel of shame. Yeah, 100%. We can do.
Mine is gonna go to the fullback. I'm gonna dump on the Richie guy.
Giovanni Richie.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this as I'm with Chuck. Chuck made my case earlier.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you already know mine. Yeah,
come on, we know it.
Mine is only between really two guys. I mean, really, I could do that whole three, those entire three guys in the middle. But I'm going with Paradis, man. He's supposed to be, one of the top centers in the NFL. At least that's how he was graded when we picked him up, when we signed him the first time. And he's been disappointing, man. He was disappointing in the preseason. The part that truly terrifies me is what the Saints and their interior D-line is going to do to him. I think he played terrible. I have a feeling that he's going to continue to play terrible unless we put some real help on both sides of him, not Daly and Elfline. So yeah, I'm putting the towel on Matt Paradis, man.
I'm going to put the towel on Matt Rule for choosing to punt in those circumstances when we need to test our kicker. So I think that was one of the worst decisions Matt Rule's ever made as a coach, and that's something that he's being laughed at in the media already because of it. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like Sideshow Rob's making some good points here. Is Ian Thomas, it did hit him. It was a high throw, a little high. It was a little on both of them, but like it did, maybe you can come down with that and that'd be good. And that drop TD. And I agree with this as somebody who made the mistake of drafting Dan Arnold for my fantasy team. I'm lowering my expectations as well. And maybe I'm going back to Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, shout out the man that was here real quick for the $5. Appreciate you, brother. Keep pounding. Definitely appreciate the love and support.
Yeah, y'all took all the good ones. For me, I can only think of like single plays that stick out in my mind. The Dante Jackson play where he got burned. I can think of Dan Arnold a couple times, not performing as a tight end like I would like him to. And then I guess a couple plays with JC Horn. So I don't really know who I would throw the towel on because I don't want to do.
You could do Joe Brady.
Yeah, I could do that for the offensive play calling. I wasn't very impressed with it. Second quarter looked really good. I don't know what was different in that quarter that we were throwing the ball differently, but yeah, that's a good one. Joe Brady.
You want to, instead of ending on a low note, how about we end on this high note right here? The Eagles beat the Falcons 32-6.
Nice. It's bad for my pick'em league.
The Falcon, the Falcons are going to be bad. I love it.
Can we not? I mean, can we ice up somebody else?
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't end super horribly, but I mean, I think we need to ice up the Jaguars, bro.
Yeah.
Like Trevor Lawrence, he had some great throws, but he looked more rookie than Zach Wilson.
But I want to see the whole game before.
He had 2 picks in the first half.
Yeah. He didn't look good.
Did you see how many? Dude, Zach Wilson could have had far more than he did today, too. So,
but
I don't know, man. Defenses are tough, man.
Defend your boy. He said, I believe in him. We can do Aaron Rodgers, too. He's sucking it up.
Gosh, I'm so glad I didn't draft him. I almost did. Oh, thank goodness I didn't draft him.
I've got him on my lineup right now.
Dak, baby.
I'm so
Dak over Brady the
surprised.
other day.
I'm so surprised to even hear you say that you would consider Aaron Rodgers. I feel like I always hear you talking shit about him, that you wouldn't draft him.
That doesn't mean that I don't think he's a great quarterback.
Yeah,
just
you want to win fantasy.
Yeah, exactly. Fantasy, everything's out of there. I have Tom Brady and Dak Prescott on my team, and Russell Wilson. So I mean, come on, which that's working out great for me.
I'm happy about my list too.
Mac Jones getting it done, dude. Good God, I'm sad about that. I'm rooting against him, not because of Cam, but because I thought that he didn't have the arm strength. Like I didn't think he looked like a NFL level. Basically, it turns out that I didn't know what I was talking about.
Hey,
Sounds like a lot of people did. Yeah,
we got one more call if you want to play it before we get out.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's see.
Oh my God.
Where is
I'm watching some of these.
The last 4 of the digit. What's the last 4 of the number digits? Because I don't see a.
I don't know. He just said play my last call. LOL. I don't know if he sent in another one or not.
Yeah, I just refreshed. I didn't see a new one. So here, tell me the last 4 of your phone number, and help me track it down because I don't know which.
Yeah, man, the man that was here. Ooh. Give us the last 4 of your cell phone, man. We're trying to play it. CK, I feel like your red zone is like way ahead of mine too. But
are you watching Buff streams? Or are you watching it?
I'm not watching any of that stuff. I'm watching the interceptions from Trevor Lawrence, and they're not good at all. Like they're very bad on him.
His touchdown to Manhurst.
Very bad.
Where are you on Twitter?
I'm looking at the highlights on NFL Network.
Okay.
Like he's overthrowing people by 15 yards. He's got no defender within 20 yards of where he threw the ball, and he's throwing it to a wide, just straight into a defender's, like all of them. And then Vernon Hargraves just tricks him into like just not good. You're gonna watch it and you're gonna be frustrated. It's rookie stuff.
Dude, if the Jaguars ruin Trevor Lawrence,
Oh,
God, it's like nobody can have good things.
So you're telling me if he comes in and he ends up being a bomb, that the Jaguars are the reason he's a bomb?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Look at Ryan Leaf.
Hey, that's what I'm saying, and I don't even give a damn that I'm a biased fucking Clemson fan, dude. That's 100% what it is. Trevor Lawrence is gonna be fine. By the way, the last four,
he'll be fine. Yeah.
last
I got
four
it.
we said.
I got it. I'm ready.
Okay, all right.
Ready?
Yep.
Hey, what's up, guys? The man was here. What's the deal with all the dick jokes and the circle jerks and all that shit? But I want to hear you guys. How are we going to do this year? I'm thinking, what is it? 9-8, I guess. That's where I'm going with.
I can see that.
Appreciate you. Good show. Much love. Keep pounding.
There is a real reason for the dick jokes right now, and one, because they're always funny in some way. Two, some dude, I don't even want to say it. Cody hosts the Friday Freak for All. Somebody came into the street because what Cody's vision for the Friday Free for All is Panther fans being able to basically hang out online, like this podcast is, except for being more driven by participation. Not that it's not already driven by the participation, but an opportunity for people to come on and discuss what's on their mind in a live format rather than just in the call format. Well, somebody. I didn't see it, thank God. And we deleted all the videos, but somebody took this moment on a free stream to come on and show their junk.
Yeah, man, they took advantage of your boy. I thought a Panther fan was coming. And hey, maybe he is a Panther fan, but I don't know.
Maybe he intended to come in and contribute. But like he was in that waiting room, and you guys were talking about the Carolina Panthers, and it's just like
he was like, "Oh, I got some spare time. I might as well just rub one out." Yeah, hey, and if that's the case, who am I to judge? Wish you would have given me a heads up first. But by the way, look, the Friday free for all, I was only tricked once, and last Friday we had a great show, man. We had Pat Coltrane come in. And he hung out with us for over 2 hours, man. So we had a good ass time. We have some Panther faithful that always come in there. AJ Lindsay, Nick Montiero, Kevin Boshoven, man. People are really loving the Friday Free for All, really vibing with it. And no dicks will deter us. The Friday Free for All is going nowhere. And it's gonna take way more than a random Willie to scare me away, bro. We're not gonna run away, man.
All right, so Tuesday 9:00 we'll be here.
Damn,
right?
Jameis Winston is chucking the ball. He just threw a 60-yard touchdown. Sorry.
Tuesday night, 9 p.m. You can call into the show in the meantime, 252-228-5098. We'll play your calls on Tuesday night. We've got a couple extra things coming down the pipe this week. Number one, I got a Saints preview I'm gonna be doing on Wednesday. That JD 54 is like I was thinking the same thing when he said it.
he gave you a heads up. Yeah, definitely gave me a
so be sure to join us for the Tuesday night podcast, this longest running Panthers podcast. And I was Googling anytime someone has an iPhone, I ask them to open up iTunes and the podcast and search for just Carolina Panthers. And I want to see where our podcast is ranked, because I do believe that my analytics that I get know that I want my show to be better than it is. So like, I feel like on my apps, it's ranked high because I'm using those like Podcast Addict. It's always looking to see how it looks. And really only one podcast that's not a Carolina Panthers podcast, like owned by the team, came up on that list higher than us. And that was a daily podcast too. So, they're going to get a lot.
They're pumping out way more numbers because of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It was who was it?
The Locked On podcast, which is it's a daily show, because they're
Locked On is actually a part of a bigger network too, right?
Yeah, there's a cool bunch of like kind of like and we're part of one for an advertising agency, but it's not as like Locked On is like kind of more like that's what they do, right?
Right,
Is that
right.
they're trying to get one for every team. Believe we have guests in the Believe in podcast network on here sometimes. They're similar to that. The goal is somebody, some people are interested in putting out those daily podcasts. In fact, Play Like a Jet, who's part of our network, their daily podcast, right? So that's cool.
Who has the time?
I know, and it's a lot of time. Yeah, and two is that we've been a long form podcast for a while.
Yeah,
we are integrating new features to it. One of these will be on Wednesday. We'll have Alan Ulrich from Under the Dome podcast to help us preview the Saints. I'm sure right now we're all watching it with a little fear and dread in our hearts and minds as Jameis Winston is just chunking the ball everywhere. We'll have that. We're going to try to hunt down a beat reporter for the Carolina Panthers. We don't know who we're going to eyeball just yet. Sometime maybe on Thursday and drop, preview, like a game preview. So we'll be pumping out some smaller form content. We had a good interview with Joe Person, went even longer than I expected with. It was very nice. So check all that out. Smash the thumbs button, subscribe. Cody, how can they interact with you on the internet as in a non-sexual way?
Yeah, or sexual, whatever. Slide in my DMs, find out. Basically, you can find me on Twitter at Cody Lack, CODYLAC. We are going to be doing the Friday free for all every Friday at 7 p.m. And that's literally your opportunity to come and hang out with us. So long as you're clothed, man. Don't be naked. Don't be bringing that stuff around here. And, we also need to do a little plug for this Madden simulation that me and my boy CK have been doing. And let me tell you, so many people actually think that CK is one of the commentators in the video game. Like, they get confused. They're like, "Oh,
he's not."
It takes them a minute to realize that it's actually CK and doing it. And,
they're like, man,
so
Madden is
like,
really Panther biased, aren't they?
yeah, right.
Wow, they're very specific. I didn't realize that they did like weekly updates on the voice acting here.
Yeah, man. But those have been awesome. Me and CK have a ton of fun doing them. We're going to continue to do them. Every time we put one out, the comment section is just crazy with people showing support. So definitely be on the lookout for those. And last but not least, check out my work where I write for the Carolina Panthers on drafttech.com.
The Bat Daddy, what are you doing these days?
Oh, man, just working a lot, working a lot and watching a lot of content. Just real quick, Aaron Rodgers got benched at the beginning of the fourth quarter.
I mean, why keep him out there?
That's crazy. But no, man, yeah, I'm doing a lot of different things, man. I'm guesting on a lot of different shows. I'm going to try to be a bigger part of the C3 here during football season, especially. And you can find me every Friday night live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube on this Super Civil Service podcast. Me and Sarah Taylor, another big Panthers fan, big in the chat room here. We're running some things, and a bunch of my other friends. We all get up and we talk about movies, television shows, comic books, all that good stuff. What are we covering right now?
What are you watching these days? Give me something good to watch.
Well, you want a good movie to watch that I saw the other day? On Netflix, there's a Ben Kingsley and Ryan Reynolds movie. It's called Selfless, I think. I can't remember what it is. It's basically Ben Kingsley transferring his consciousness into another body that happens to be Ryan Reynolds. Really, really good movie.
It's a way for them to try to remain immortal.
Yeah.
If you're rich, being able to transfer your consciousness into a younger body.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a pretty decent movie. I was pretty surprised by it. Other than that, man, just watching Titans and Stargirl and, Lower Decks and What If and everything Marvel puts out. It's really starting to ramp up with theaters opening back up. A lot of stuff's coming out now. It's going to be really fun.
All right. CK, how can they follow you?
You can follow me pretty much all social media platforms. Codizzle Allen is what I go by. And, just been playing some games, just hanging out. Right now, I think the thing I'm most excited about is this Madden simulation every week. I think it's something that's pretty cool. And I'm hoping that if you guys are able to do what, I'm hoping you're able to do, just kind of help blow this thing up. We might be able to start getting like special guests in to commentate, maybe even like if we get this thing really big, maybe we can even get some official like Panthers legends, maybe even a Jake Delhomme. I mean, hey, listen, that's sky's the limit with this thing, guys.
Love it. Love it. Thanks for all your help, folks. Appreciate every single one of your time, not only on the panel today, but those in the chat, the people that are calling in. It means a lot that you spend so much time with us throughout the week. And we've developed some great friendships through this great community. Be sure to support the show by sharing it with a friend. That's like the phone a friend thing is a big deal to me. One person more knowing about this podcast each day. And, it's actually hard for people. There's so much content in the world. It's kind of hard to pierce into people's lives at time. So help us pierce into somebody's earbuds around the world. And thanks for all that you guys do. And we'll see you Tuesday night. Until then, keep pounding. Take us out of here, Cody.